This is Robert Kraft's net worth. I'm going to say it's $1 billion.
Yeah.
1.8 billion. Dude, I mean,
that's what you get $1 billion. Is
he behind Kraft Foods?
Yes.
Oh,
Kraft Food Group.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Kraft Food Group. Yeah.
And Gillette, right?
I think Gillette as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the money's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean Mark Wahlberg, from where he came to where he is now, you got to give the light guy a lot of credit, and he's got a he's a very regimented guy. I don't like a lot of the movies he does.
I mean, how if you're
Daddy's Home 2, though, good Christmas movie.
How if you're Nick Saban at some point when this NIL thing was starting, did you not try, because I assume Robert Kraft doesn't have a favorite college, that you were not trying to work in and say, hey, you know Bob, you can be our biggest donor here for my football program. We're moving to the NIL now, and you just tell me what you want. We can get you a suite. We can do whatever you want.
You know what's crazy?
You know what you could do with $13.8 billion?
I know.
What you could give away on an NIL
I'm sure you never get set up for that.
Yeah.
You know what's wild about that is the only time I've ever seen Robert Kraft in person was at that Alabama-Texas game.
That's right.
You remember that? And he was down on the sidelines for Alabama-Texas out at the Rose Bowl.
He's a little dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he was not huge, but what was weird...
Did he have French cuffs on?
It was right after his wife had passed, or soon after his wife had passed, and he had a...
young girl.
20-ish dime piece on his arm.
Yeah.
And was in like designer, I mean, I'm sure they're more than my mortgage payment, but designer jeans. He was trying to look cool, but the designer jeans, he still had the French cuff shirt tucked in with no tie on.
Yeah.
It was such a weird look.
Yeah.
It was like, this is my look, but I got to look cool too.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to, she dressed me up into my waist,
That's
but
right.
I'm still going old man with money top here.
Yeah, no tie, just the French cuff shirt tucked into jeans. It was a strange look.
Before we go to the next one, I've got a hot take on Kraft mac and cheese.
Okay, let me first say I'm not certain he is Kraft Foods. Let me back off on that. It was definitely Gillette.
It is Gillette for
Fact check
sure.
that, though.
Yeah,
No, you don't have to do
Goodles
that.
is the way you need to go.
Yeah.
That's what we do in the house. I was about to say that.
That's all. I mean, I probably eat Goodles 3 times a week.
No connection to Kraft Foods.
Yep, I was wrong about that. It is Gillette. Yeah. Go ahead, though.
By the way, I used to not like mac and cheese, well documented on the show, said it for years. But this year, I'm craving it now. Your taste buds change as you go through life, and now I'm into mac and cheese, and I have the Googles twice a week.
Yeah, I do the Chetty Mac, and then I also do the I think it's Shella Good with the shells and the creamy sauce. That stuff is legit. Have you ever had Googles?
I don't think they carry those brands in my grocery store.
No, well, they do at Publix. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, but it's a healthier alternative.
I've never heard of it.
But it's a better taste too.
More fiber, more protein.
It's so good.
My hot mac and cheese take is that the Kraft noodles that come in the shapes, like the SpongeBob characters and such,
garbage.
Better.
Oh,
Because you have
interesting.
more
Yeah.
surface area to hold cheese.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's hard to, but I still like the old school tubes.
Yeah, the orange.
No, I'm with you. I like the shells because it's almost you're getting a dump truck full of cheese every time.
Yeah, it's like a mini dumpling full of cheese.
Yeah. That's your hot take of the day right there.
4th down.
So on this day in 1952, the first ever nationally televised sporting event, it was Jersey Joe Walcott defeats Ezzard Charles in 15 rounds heavyweight championship in Philadelphia. If I asked you guys, what was the first...
Next Round hoodies and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, a live show now on a Monday. Later on, Unhinged tonight at Madison Square Garden. It's the biggest event in a long, long time there at MSG when it comes to New York teams. So we'll talk about that later in the show, just the chaos that's going to be at MSG tonight. We got a ton of college football to get to. Our buddy Brad Crawford, who's been on the show several times, CBS Sports, he's got his 15 most meaningful games out. What we'll do is take his 15 most meaningful games, and I'll ask the panel who wins those games.
Are we held to that can we change as the season goes?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're not held to this for the rest of the year.
I don't want you to draw it up there, Bandit, but we'll pick 15.
Never know where he's going.
Winners coming up. I got big deal or no big deal from some college football offseason news as we prepare for college football. 82 days away in our Innisfree countdown to kickoff. 82 days, your game day tradition. Our friends at Innisfree Irish Pub in Tuscaloosa and Lakeview. Irish-inspired pub food, the signature Irish gold sauce, and always a world-class atmosphere. At Innisfree, our Innisfree countdown, 82 days. But baseball, over the weekend, had a lot of people talking. The scenes at all these stadiums, just tremendous, especially the SEC venues. Alabama had great crowds. Auburn had great crowds. That Kudzu Hill at Georgia was insane. That series was insane. Mississippi State and Georgia. It was a Georgia sweep, but the Bulldogs get the win. They advance on. They're the highest remaining seed. But that bank up in the right corner, that great backyard with the hedges and all that, that looked like a great place to be on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, no doubt. And the Parker kid, the true freshman for Mississippi State, coming up again, had already hit back-to-back shots, 2 on, bottom of the ninth. I wanted so bad for him just to completely shut that crowd down. And it's exactly what you wanted. I mean, it was an incredible series. Georgia sweeps, but, man, if you like offensive baseball, those two games
when that first game was 13-12, I was like, okay.
Was it 21 home runs, 25 home runs? It seemed like it was north of 20.
I mean, in
two games.
Just yesterday, you had Shit, I can't even count them.
Yeah. Georgia smashed all year. They've been one of the best offensive teams in baseball, I think. I just wonder if the ball flies out of that joint pretty good or something.
Oh, yeah.
Does it really?
That's
Is that
why,
good?
yeah, I mean, that's why they have Feed the Trees.
Good Hitters Park.
Well, and the totals were 13.5 in both of those games. I mean, that's an extremely large baseball total.
But that was chaos. But let's get to what happened with the couple of teams in our state that we originate from. But we'll get to all the SEC because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the SEC is back. Man, we did bass fishing last week. We did golf last week.
All right. It's quite a run.
Softball last week.
Yep.
And now 5 of the 8, if Alabama and Oklahoma can finish the deal today, will be SEC teams out in Omaha. So seems like the SEC's back.
Don't throw the dirt on the casket.
Well, I mean, a bigger story is the Big Ten.
Oh,
like
yeah.
USC,
Where's they going?
That meltdown. Like their closer comes in the 8th with 2 outs, and he can't find the zone.
Was the Big Ten? Did they factor into the bass fishing, Jim?
I mean, Forrester, really quickly, man. You at some point today, you need to get that coffin thing again and have the SEC pop it up. Or it could be Greg Sankey.
Yeah.
Greg Sankey popping up.
I mean, I bet they weren't even a factor in bass fishing, the Big Ten, you think?
I think the Big Ten, you got to throw a bone to the SEC every now and then.
Right. Just let us win something.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 big sports, the ones everybody cares about, hey, we'll win those every year.
So Alabama goes back at it later today at 11 o'clock. 7-2, top of the 8th. Alabama's the visiting team today. If they finish the deal against St. John's, they're on their way to play they're on their way to Omaha in the College World Series. Cut 4, Tyler, if you can. This is after Game 1, where Alabama set a record for that stadium, having over 7,500 fans in there, and it was their right field, the Ragers. It was a great scene in Tuscaloosa as well. Not quite as much with rain in the forecast yesterday, but still a great crowd on hand. Rob Vaughn just moved by the home field advantage he had.
What a cool environment tonight, too. Golly. I mean, I told our guys before the game in left field when we were meeting before the game started, I said, man, take a second and look around and see what you built. 7,500 people rocking and in it and fighting and scratching and clawing and shirts off and all sorts of crazy stuff. Just it's what college baseball is all about, and those guys created a home field advantage for us tonight. So, but just like we're not done, they can't be done either. We got to come out and make this thing rock again tomorrow, and I think they'll be ready for it.
Yeah, and so they'll try to finish game 2 today. If for some reason St. John's rallies in their final 6 outs, they would play game 3 55 minutes at the conclusion of game 2. But
don't think you got to worry about that. I mean, there was a reason they were such a heavy favorite. And watching, game 1 and a little bit of game 2, it's like the Dodgers and the Rockies in a series.
It really is. And the fake hit was untouchable Friday night. I don't know how much of that you got to say. I know you watched some of it, but he 2-hit them. And Alabama closed that out, 2 hits. On St. John's, pretty good team to 2-hit them in a super regional game 1.
Yeah, look at that, by the way, the setup there in Tuscaloosa. Good on Alabama's production team to get a drone in the air to get that home. That's during the Torres Grand Slam yesterday, correct?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so that's the lesser of the 2 crowds, the Torres Grand Slam, while the drone is shooting up in the air. Another scene here.
That's heck of timing.
As he gets it out of here, and the place goes crazy. Good-looking ballpark. They remodeled that really well over in Tuscaloosa.
They did well.
Yep.
I'm glad it's finally got some meaningful postseason games, and it's been quite a while for Alabama.
Yeah. So they roll in with a chance to advance on later today. And then there's Troy, who is out there as well. Cut 8, Tyler, if you can. The Troy Trojans are on their way to the World Series. For Troy, it's been a pretty good athletic year. Bowl game in football. You see the celebration here first. Great scenes down there. Those bleachers they brought from Gulf Shores full over the left field fence. Insanity at Troy. And the dancing going on there.
And they got a big boy raking right now. He helped put it over the 13.5 runs that I had on
you talking
on
about
Friday.
Jay Bruth?
Yeah.
Jay Bruth? Is that what they call him? That's pretty good.
I mean, that dude. I mean, it's almost he called his shot. I don't know if you guys watched that final at bat that did put it over the team total, but he gets 2 strikes on him throwing some off speed, and then third base or the hitting coach came up and called a timeout.
Of course Jay Bruth called a shot.
And, I mean, next pitch he was just sitting on it, and, I mean, hit it a mile.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the left field, and I guess all the stands they brought in for those Troy games, man.
Yeah.
It's that's going to be a team that's going to be hard for the masses to not pull for.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're talking – their stadium, they had almost 7,000 people, their official announcement for their games down in Troy. And for Troy this academic year, football team went to a bowl game. Now, they didn't win the championship, the Sun Belt, like when Summerall were there, but they went to a bowl game. They went to the NCAA men's basketball tournament, if you remember. And now they're going to the World Series. That's a pretty good academic year for the Sun Belt Troy Trojans.
So can you make the argument that Troy has had the best in-state year?
You could make that argument.
Alabama's did pretty good.
Alabama was college football playoff, Elite 8, and a couple outs away from the College World Series.
Right.
It can be hard to beat that. Yeah.
Okay, I would say, what about based on expectations?
based on school level,
Yeah, I mean, if you're hinting best in-state south of the Peach in Clanton.
Okay. Well, a former Alabama player gets the Stallions job. Former Troy coach gets the Florida job. Yeah. That's advantage Troy.
Yes, Troy got that one.
Yeah. So here's their head coach, Skylar Meade. When you hear the name Skylar, what do you think of?
I think of
the
old girl from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Nobody liked.
Skylar Meade, head coach, who has come into Troy and sort of set this up 3 years ago and has gradually built them into being a College World Series team.
I don't really think we were last 4 in personally. I mean, I know that they post that up, but I highly doubt that was the case because we have good players. We have the right level of edge, and while we are going to celebrate, and I am telling you, we are going to celebrate. I know I am. I'm not thinking about. What time is it? You can chalk this one up. It's 5:23. I'm not doing anything productive till about 5:30 tomorrow night. There's only one team happy at the end of this thing in late June, whatever date it is that Omaha ends, and everything that we've done in our program is with the mindset of being that last team. Maybe we get to that, maybe we don't. But we've crossed 3 steps really, making it step 1, step 2, the regionals, step 3, the super, and obviously step 4, the hardest with the 8 best teams in the country. However, there's 8 left, and the Trojans are one of them.
Yeah, no, don't blow past what he said, because they were one of the last 4 teams in. I know he doesn't believe it, but they were one of the last 4 teams in. When they do the selection show, one of the last 4 teams in was the Troy Trojans, and now they're in basically the Elite 8, if you're going by NCAA basketball terms. You guys wanted Cinderellas. Here you go.
Well, this would be the equivalent of playing, I guess, from Dayton to the Elite 8, like VCU.
VCU did.
Of course, they went all the way to the Final Four. But
George Mason.
George Mason, yeah. I mean,
we've seen some teams, be able to make that kind of run. It seems like it would be a little easier to do in baseball. I'm not discounting anything, because you do have to play a series in the regional, or you got double elimination, and then you've got to go typically to somebody's home field.
Yeah.
You were able to keep it because of Arkansas Little Rock.
That's right.
I would think that West Virginia is probably minus 150 in this first game. I don't think the number's going to be that big.
Furman Friday said, don't think that Troy's just going to show up there, that they've got a legit chance of advancing over West Virginia. And as long as big guy rakes, you never know. West Virginia's scoring some runs, too.
At some point, you got to stop pitching to Jay Bruce. You got to start pitching around him.
Yeah, I would pitch around him.
Yeah.
I think that's probably going to be the strategy.
Can I just say something else? I love hearing a coach, because some of these coaches are so robotic, and they hate to admit that they enjoy anything or they celebrate anything, because it's all about.
But you noticed what he did.
What?
He still kept it the 24-hour window.
He did, 24-hour rule, but I do like the fact that
technically he went 24 hours and 7 minutes.
Yeah, I like the fact that he says, I'm doing nothing productive for 24 hours.
And I bet,
love it.
I bet Skyler at 41, because we were talking about how young he looked last week, I bet he gets after it still.
You think Summerall might have left some bourbon behind?
Probably, yeah.
So good for Troy and the great fans that showed up down there. And they I don't know if you watched any of their games live. I know a lot of you watching did. I don't know if you guys did. I just happened to catch the start of one of their games. When they do what the Yankees do, they had one big super fan that leads the chants. And they start,
roll call?
Yeah, the roll call. And they start in left field, and they go to center field, right field, and they keep chanting your name until you tip the hat or you point to them or something. And they were doing that. And with 6,000 fans, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I'll go ahead and tell you. I thought it was a really good idea. And that old boy knew where the camera was. I don't know his name, but the super fan, because going to break after the bottom of the first, I guess, they get the out, or top of the first, they get the out. And they're going to break. He turns and looks at the camera and points right at it.
He's a showman.
And that's the going to the break. Like he knew the camera was going to be on him going to break. So it was just a great atmosphere for Troy. And that gets us to Auburn. And I must say, I felt a little guilty on the golf course with my Auburn friends yesterday, because it did seem a little like the past were a little different. Troy at home against Arkansas Little Rock, Alabama at home against St. John, and Auburn at home with another SEC school, Ole Miss. The past do seem a little different.
Well, they do, but I mean, my argument would be Little Rock was good enough to get out of their region with Southern Miss, who's good, and Jack State, who everybody was like, that's a behemoth, for a 3 seed, and Virginia. Little Rock was able to get out of there. St. John's was able to, help me remember here, get out of Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State, who was, I think, Team 9, like everybody was like, they're borderline for, in the discussions for hosting a super regional. I mean,
yeah, wait, who did Ole Miss beat in the regional?
Ole Miss got through. Boy, these are so hard to remember.
Well, the only reason I bring this up is, Auburn actually got a better draw with Ole Miss winning that regional, because
they were in the Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska was favored to win that.
Yeah, Big Ten, SEC over Big Ten.
Yeah, Ole Miss had to beat Arizona State twice and Nebraska.
And I get what you're saying, and a lot of people are pointing at the Ole Miss team a few years ago that had to do this same thing. They were the last. I think they were the last team in that year.
They were.
Wait, so your buddies were bitching about the draw?
No. I said I felt guilty.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, on the tee box. Because I may or may not have worn an Alabama shirt yesterday.
Well, they didn't really care. They were playing golf and not watching their team, right?
No, their team was done.
No, this was Sunday. Their team was done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As my golf buddies were pointing out.
Damn, so you really did rub it in wearing the Alabama shirt on a Sunday?
It just happened to be what I pulled off the.
Well, at least you didn't wear Ole Miss.
Pulled off the rack.
At least didn't go hotty toddy on it.
Yeah. So it was interesting on the golf course. Forster. And they were talking about this too, but Forrester pulled down some tweets the other night in our text thread. Gabe Gross was catching all the bullets from the Auburn fans that were upset because he's the hitting coach. I don't see how you blame the hitting coach for anything.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when the bats go cold, though.
But Lance just told you what was the old boy at Troy. Hitting coach walks up to him, whispers something in his ear, and he's sitting on the next pitch. I mean, isn't that what you pay the coach? Don't you think the coach probably said, "Hey, look, every situation we've seen like this, he brings whatever pitch."
Yeah,
it is.
or he just said, "Look, relax. I mean, you're over swinging. This game's over," because it really was.
I mean, if the hitting coach doesn't do anything, why in the world are you paying a hitting coach? I mean, if you're paying him, he does something. Now, I'm not going to get on here and go super hot take. I haven't watched Auburn play baseball all year until this tournament. I haven't watched Alabama, for the record, play all year into this tournament. It's just college baseball is really not on my radar in the spring. I've enjoyed this tournament a lot. So I'm not going to get on here and play hot take and say, oh, Gabe Gross has got to go. But I would say, if the hitting coach doesn't do anything, why did they go to great lengths to pay a hitting coach and don't use that money in NIL? So he's got to do something, right?
Yeah, I guess. But the key here, because the bats were so cold, it never seemed like they got a big, meaningful hit, you know, when they had opportunities and couldn't get that one hit to get them over the hump. But Auburn's great pitchers, I'm told by someone who follows Auburn baseball, that probably have 3 big league arms on that rotation. They ended up getting outpitched, or at least the bats were cold enough for Auburn, by Ole Miss in this series. Here's Butch Thompson, the Auburn skipper, on the loss, disappointing to the fans that packed out Plainsman Park a couple of nights of 10,000.
You know, I told our team we were good enough to, go to Omaha and win a national championship. I've been working hard for a decade to say that, and I don't stand here defeated today and not believe that. I do, but you have to earn it. And I think, we've only been able to go to 2 of these 5 super regionals to punch in there, and last year's team hurt even more. Although I was really excited for this team to take us there. So I think we're good enough, and I think the guys are really upset. It's not a celebration and a pat on your back that you are in a super regional anymore. Maybe that's another step, but we have to just continue to try to work through this and try to get back there. But, I have no regrets. My job is to try to put our guys in position, and then when you get to a mode like this, the last couple of years, your best players, ball's got to find. There's a little bit of randomness in our sport. Some things have to work out. And if I can just keep trying to put our program here, keep giving a good solid effort every day where people feel like we're trying to do the right thing, then, I think we'll bust through.
It's a good mentality. And what I would agree that he didn't say straight up is the most difficult championship to win is the men's college baseball championship.
Oh, you believe that?
I think it is because
more than basketball.
Well, more than basketball because 3 out of 4 times when going into basketball, it's like the best team wins. Like the best.
We used to always never say that. We always said it was the basketball tournament was the toughest one to win.
Well, I think because we don't really talk baseball. I'm just talking about like if we include baseball, basketball is more difficult than football. But still, when you look back at teams winning basketball championships, whether it was UConn or Florida. Even Michigan this year, when you look back, you're like, damn, yeah, they should have been favored going into the tournament. Best team wins. Baseball, UCLA doesn't even get out of a regional.
I know, and the team that eliminated them doesn't even get out of that regional. Cal Poly was the one that came out of that regional. Yeah, and the same for
Vanderbilt last year, right? Yeah. Tennessee 3 or 4 years ago.
This is 2 straight years you've gotten swept in the Supers, and nobody's going to come on this show and say, anything bad about Butch Thompson. He's returned Auburn baseball to the level Hal Baird had it, and Auburn has not been there in a very long time. So he's done, obviously, a tremendous job. The guy knows what he's doing. But, if something happens once, it could be an outlier. But when it happens in back-to-back years, I think you have to start questioning, okay, are we approaching this the right way? What have we done here? I just think you've got to start asking questions. Do we have the right staff?
I don't know, man. When you get to a super regional, baseball is just so difficult. Like going back, and we brought up Florida State last week. Like Coastal Carolina has a championship. Like, what Mike Martin did at Florida State was incredible. And I think Brooks posted a graphic this weekend that talked about the most super regional or most college World Series appearances. I forgot which, but Florida State's number 1.
Yeah, they are. And never won one.
But they've never won one.
Right.
So, and I know there's Florida State fans that were like, man, Mike Martin, he gets us to Omaha, but hell, he just can't get over that hump.
And I think
sometimes you start looking at baseball, it's it's a difficult sport to figure out.
You're not going to get that on Butch Thompson. Don't hear me say that, but all I'm saying is I think if 2 straight years you've hosted the Super Regional and you've been swept in both of them, you've probably got to stop and say, all right, do I still, is everything we're doing, which the ultimate goal is to get to Omaha and win it all, is our strategy working? And if part of that strategy is a hitting coach or a whatever, then I think, you've got to evaluate all that. You can't just say, it's fine.
We have developing news on Brendan Sorsby in just a second. But I do want to.
New news?
It is. Yeah. The ruling has come down. So we'll get to that.
And the Fralick kid was 0 for 5 in 2 games. I mean, that's not normal.
That's why I want to get to just quickly. The NCAA basketball tournament, though, Lance, is single elimination.
One bad game.
Yeah, you get double elimination. Auburn lost to Wisconsin, Milwaukee. In the NCAA basketball tournament, they're done. They're able to rally back and get to the super regionals. They lose the first game. They can still win 2 more and get to Omaha. You can lose a game in Omaha and still make the championship series now, and lose again and still win the championship series. It's now.
Yeah, but I would say on the other side of that, it's not like these mid-majors in these one-game situations have a Kevin Durant. I was talking to a buddy over the weekend that played in a super regional for Texas Tech, and they got behind the 8 ball because there was this number 1 that was drafted in the first round that went against. This was 20 years ago. But it was like Southwest Texas State. He cut them up and put them in the losers bracket, and they couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
So you do get one dominant arm with some of these programs. That's the equalizer.
Which is what you thought St. John's might have, to go back to the Alabama series. They threw their ace, and Alabama, kind of wore him out a little bit. If you can't do that, you're done as one of those smaller teams. But this is not what that was. Coastal Carolina is a legit team. Ole Miss is a legit team. And you're 0-2 against those teams at home.
I would just say, I bet if we went back over the last 25 years and you look at who your favorite was to who your favorite was in basketball, it wouldn't even be close. I mean, again, when Ole Miss won their championship and people are comparing this Ole Miss team to that one, where, they come out of nowhere in the regionals, they go into a super regional on the road, they win there. That Ole Miss team had no shot at winning a College World Series. Were they not the last team in?
They were very dead last. Everybody said the last one in the bunch, and they go all the way. You never know.
Our friends at Alexander Chenard, trial attorney, gets us to the breaking news.
Yeah, it's very appropriate there. Whatever your legal need, Alexander Chenard can take care of you. When you think of Alexander Chenard, I know what you think of. You think of personal injury attorney, understandable. But it goes well beyond that. He takes care of a lot of things. How about fire and storm damage claims, bad drug and device claims, personal work situations there, workers' compensation, employment, all of that. He handles that right there. So that's why we say whatever your legal situation is, start at Chenard.com with the Alexander Chenard trial attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Chenard.com, Chenard.com.
I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm shocked by this. Quarterback Brendan Sorsby has been granted his injunction against the NCAA by the judge in Texas.
I mean, just, when the work week ended for most on Friday, Texas Tech's appeal had been denied.
That's right, by the NCAA. Mm-hmm. This is separate, obviously, but to your point, the NCAA had come in and said, nope, that's it. He's officially done, and then less than 48 hours, a Lubbock judge is like, I don't think so.
Is the first step.
This is a judge now that I think they brought out of retirement.
But he's in Lubbock County, Texas.
Yeah, but he lives in the Houston area or San Antonio.
Has he ever yelled guns up?
We'll never know.
I mean, so what is the next piece of the process?
I think they move up to a higher court now. I believe. I don't think this is the end of the road. I think the NCAA can now take this to the next court.
Well, we have special experience at this in this state. It's just an injunction, which is the same thing that allowed Charles Bediako to play. But then once the hearing happened, the injunction was overturned. So, I mean, I, again, never went to Jacksonville State Law School, but my assumption is, Lance, this is just step one for Brendan Sorsby here, that this will then have another hearing, probably in a Lubbock County, Texas courthouse. And if that does not go the NCAA's way, they'll probably – I don't know if the NCAA was ready to go to the highest level against Charles Bediako, primarily because of the way the clock was working. I mean, that was late in the season.
They'll take it to the next level.
I think this one, they will fight to the end on this one.
Yeah, do you think it's whoever's representing Brendan Sorsby in Texas Tech's like, hey, look, it's your dime, but if I'm really advising you, this is the ultimate Hail Mary at this point?
Well, they wanted a ruling by June 15th, so they've got this injunction. Now, if I'm him, I want this cleared up to where I know I can play or not play before the supplemental draft, because I do still believe somebody will give up some draft pick for him in the supplemental draft.
I would agree. Todd Monken, Cleveland Browns' new head coach, former offensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs, was asked about Sorsby, and he's like, I think it's too risky. I forgot exactly the way he phrased it. But, there's going to be a lot of teams that will lay in the weeds talking about they would never take him. Somebody will take a flyer on him because I do believe, even if he's got a major gambling problem, you don't have to worry about a quarterback in the NFL compromising something. The money is too big.
But even if that's your concern, though, Lance, if I only, and you could probably get him for a 3rd or 4th round pick if I had to guess. I don't think anybody's going to risk a 1st or 2nd round pick on a quarterback that's had to sit out because of gambling. But if you only risk your 3rd or 4th round, I mean, if he gambles again and gets suspended, what have you really lost there?
But you're right; it's too risky to. I don't care who he was; it'd be too risky to do a 1st round pick because if he does anything like this in the NFL, he's done.
And you don't think they'll be watching him like a hawk?
Yeah, but if I'm the Dolphins or the Cardinals, if I'm one of these teams, even the Browns, you don't have a quarterback identified as your future. Why would you not take a flyer? Because I look back, if he was worth $5 million in the portal, that equates to a 1st round,
no doubt,
draft grade.
You're potentially getting 1st round talent for a 3rd or 4th round pick.
All right. So Brendan Sorsby has been granted his injunction against the NCAA. We'll see what the NCAA does next as the court proceedings go on. Tonight, Madison Square Garden, we get a little chaos, is all you can say. Game 3 tonight. The Knicks up 2-0. The president expected to be there, President Trump. They're asking everyone to get to the stadium at least 2 hours before because they'll have a perimeter set up with security. They were going to do that anyway, but now because the president could be in attendance, they're going full TSA checkpoints. Like you're boarding an airplane, you'll get scanned and all the stuff you have to do to get on an airplane. They're doing that to get into the stadium tonight, the arena there at MSG. And, to add to I cannot imagine being the basketball ops tonight at MSG. Okay, because, first of all, packed in like sardines. Now you're making room for the president and the Secret Service. Now you've got extra security. And on Sunday, ESPN makes the announcement, oh, by the way, we're going to do a simulcast with Pat McAfee, and his whole crew is going to be courtside.
Yeah.
Can you imagine squeezed in there the chaos?
Because where we have plenty of room courtside. We have plenty of room courtside.
I think if I'm MSG, I'm like, you know what? We appreciate it. We really don't need any more pub for this finals.
The fire marshal has said enough is enough.
That's right.
But that's at least 6 microphones right there. 6 heads that they got to find space for. Hopefully they're just on Barclays setup there. Doing it from up there.
Yeah, maybe they just take over the halftime.
But if it's like football, they're down near the sidelines walking around and having a good time. It's fun to watch, but that's just one more headache they did not need tonight at MSG.
Yeah, what a complete meltdown for San Antonio on Friday night. Boy. I don't know how much you guys got to watch at the end of that game.
I watched the meltdown.
The ratings have been fantastic through 2 games. I'm not surprised at all. I think they're the best they've been in I forgot how many years. I saw it after game 1. I don't know what game 2 did, but I'm sure it was a great number based on the way that game played out. But the worst thing that could happen to the NBA with everybody all in watching now is a sweep or even a 5 games. Right. So, everybody that thinks this thing is over, this thing is not over.
Well, I do think that people are tuning in because rarely do you get a big market underdog. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Knicks are. And they haven't won one in so long.
Word.
And I think, but I think a lot of people are tuning in wanting to see the celebration. It's almost like New Year's Eve turning in to watch the ball drop. Everybody tunes in occasionally just to see the crowd at times. Oh, look at all those people at Times Square. I think people want to see how New York will react if they win the championship.
Or on the other side, and this is tough for me because I hate the Spurs. I've always hated the Spurs. But I'd love to see the implosion. With everything's weighing so much for the Knicks, and now they're up 2-0.
And then it melts.
It melts.
Yeah.
And that first step, the first peg, is San Antonio being able to go on the road. And you absolutely, it's obvious. You've never seen a team come back from 3-0 in the NBA playoffs. You've got to win this game tonight.
Well, if the Knicks are going to win it, I hope they win it
in MSG.
In 5. I hope they win it.
You want them to win it at home.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Is that the way they do it? Is it 2-3-2?
Yeah.
Okay, I want them to win it in New York.
Well, that'd be game 6, right?
No, it's
2-3-2.
Yeah.
It's
not 2-2, 1-1-1.
I think it's 2-3-2.
Yeah, which I've never liked.
I mean, I can tell you right now.
I think it should be 2-2.
I like the 1-1-1.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, like, Jalen Brunson has been bad as far as shooting the basketball. But on the other side, like Wemby, the way he melted down in the last few moments, and I know everybody's like, hey, we've seen this from LeBron. You saw it from, some other superstars earlier in their career.
Well, give credit to Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's done a great job.
He's been fantastic. I mean, Brunson's still your favorite to win the Finals MVP, but Karl Anthony Towns is now number 2 in front of Wemby.
Yeah, Game 5 will be back in San Antonio. So it is.
So they're doing the 1-1-1.
Yeah, they're doing the 1-1-1.
All right. So you can get this to 6 games and still win it in New York. We'll see what happens. Sweep or in 6 is the way I want to see it play out, because I want to see the chaos in New York City. By the way, this game tonight, tremendous, but TMZ reporting over the weekend that on July 3rd, MSG is rented out.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that supposed to be Game 6?
Nope. July 3rd.
Oh, July 3rd. I'm sorry.
Rented out for the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wedding.
They're doing their wedding at MSG?
According to TMZ, July 3rd.
That seems right. That tracks for them.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. At Madison Square Garden. That, according to TMZ, July 3rd, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wedding at MSG leaked out, according to TMZ sources. It's like she doesn't have enough money to buy her own fireworks. She's going to jump in on the 250th celebration fireworks. Let's get married and walk out with some fireworks.
This is the poor man's edition of getting married at Margaritaville. This is redneck as shit. It really is.
We'll see if TMZ's right. There's a feeling that
can't be right.
There's a feeling that is sort of a. What's it called?
Snopes.
Well,
what's it called when you make it look like it's gonna be over here, but really, we get married in the south of France.
Yeah, it's like on D-Day where we fooled the Germans. Like we had all our tanks over here, but we came over here.
Yeah,
that's what they're gonna do.
I feel pretty confident that they have enough money that they could have a secret destination wedding where people get on a plane and you don't know where you're going, and you basically surrender your cell phone for 48 hours.
100%.
You don't even need Taylor Swift money to do that. Tom Holland and Zendaya did that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, if they can do it.
So Spider-Man and Zendaya got married?
Yep.
So they dated in one of the movies, right?
Yep, they've been dating since the start of the first movie.
That happens.
What's HR say about that?
What's that?
The old Pen and Company Inc. You never heard that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, as long as
it's spider web.
As long as she wasn't tied up in a spider web, she was there by her own willing. It's okay. All right, so there's the opening segment. When we come back, college football news we'll get to. The show today being brought to you by the great folks at Hoover Toyota.
Hey, if you're in the market, new or used, whether you're looking for a car, SUV, truck, they have got you covered at Hoover Toyota. The inventory, the on-site finance department, absolutely fantastic. Located conveniently, Highway 150, beautiful location. Get in, see Scott Peoples, all our friends there. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. They've rolled out that red carpet program. They've been doing it for more than 2 decades now in Birmingham, Alabaster, and Vestavia. They want to make sure they retain you as a customer for life. Stop in, see our friends there for more information and to view the inventory, hoovertoyota.com.
Hey, feel free tomorrow when we're on our road show in Auburn to walk up and say, Jim, man, you look a lot skinnier than the last time you were down at Auburn. That won't hurt my feelings at all. We're down at Auburn tomorrow, and our friends at Way to Wellness making Jim look skinny on the road this year. A planforme.com is the website. A planforme.com the website. See everything they offer me and they offer you as well. Everything from injection therapy to meal replacement. I had one of my protein snack bar, high fiber, high protein snack bars for breakfast this morning. Absolutely tremendous. Best thing at Way to Wellness is you get a free consultation with Leslie and her board certified team. No contract, no sign up fee, and the first consultation is free. It is Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777, or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office is Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Don't forget a Bud Light Road Show tomorrow. We're in Auburn, and that means our show is moving to 12 to 3 o'clock. So we don't get going until 12 noon live tomorrow, 12 to 3 at Bunkers down in Auburn tomorrow, ahead of the Argentina friendly tomorrow with Iceland down at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Looking forward.
Heard Iceland's bought all the tickets up.
Oh, yes.
I really have.
It is a great atmosphere. We'll be at Bunkers 12 to 3 tomorrow with our friends at Bud Light, so come by and hang out with us there. By the way, World Cup-wise, that same Argentina team did the same thing at College Station over the weekend. Only 91,000 made it in, not a packed 102. 91,000 fans on hand to watch Lionel Messi sit on the bench. Didn't play 1 second.
So I am staying for the game tomorrow.
There is the crowd, the basically the visiting seats where all the Alabama fans usually are, not filled up.
Oh, you are going to go to the game?
I am. My daughter's been bitten by the soccer bug, so she wants to go, and I have warned her Messi may not play at all, and she's fine with that.
Well, I mean, I will tell you, Brownie, the fact he didn't play in this one
this gives you a better chance. If he had played in this one, I would have said
no chance at all.
Yeah, he's expected to get some minutes tomorrow, but not be like a main starter.
Yeah, my buddy who's a big soccer guy was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does 30 minutes, leaves the stadium and heads to where, I can't even remember where
they're based out of Kansas City.
Yeah, that he's going before the team even finishes. Like he's straight to a PJ and he's on his way to, rest up for the actual World Cup.
It's pretty cool. All these teams have sort of host cities. They're not all at venues. Like there's one team staying in Chattanooga.
I saw that. I think it's Spain.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
boy, did they choose wrong with the traffic.
I was about to say, do you think they have that traffic in Madrid?
Yeah.
They're like, man, this town.
They're on Baylor School's campus. It's like its own private campus.
Yeah, that's probably as nice as
that's where Peyton Manning's kids go to school.
That's probably as nice as their spot.
I had a nephew that went to school there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice, though. I mean,
super nice.
Is that the one that looks like the castle that's up there? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's gated. It's
Apparently
they picked it out back in February.
Can't hide it.
It's a for the graduation. I was uncomfortable. It's very. I was more comfortable walking around the grounds at Shoal Creek for the first time than I was walking around there.
Too fancy for you, Jim.
A little too fancy for Alabaster.
Ooh, my dollar store shoes did not fit in, I'll go ahead and tell you. But we'll be down there tomorrow. And some interesting tweets that Brown has for us are facts about the soccer game we actually saw at Kyle Field over the weekend. Interesting.
I found this one funny. I sent this to Scott. About teams that have played at Kyle Field before the Georgia Bulldogs have. Tennessee, Notre Dame, George Strait, the Savannah Bananas, the Honduran football team, and the Argentinian football team. All those teams and people and whatever the Savannah Bananas are have done an event at Kyle Field before the Georgia Bulldogs have actually played a game there.
I'm going to say that Mark took this tweet. He kind of made it his own. Is that fair? Because he left out Lionel Messi, the guy that actually originated the really funny tweet.
Yeah, I agree with you. This was the GOAT of the tweet over the weekend. Texas A&M joined the SEC in 2012. Lionel Messi is playing at Kyle Field before Georgia.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. Now, to be entirely fair on this, I try to point this out when this comes up because it comes up an awful lot. Everybody's like, how could Georgia and Texas A&M never play? That game was scheduled for the COVID year. Now, it was still going to be 8 years after A&M joined the league, but the COVID year, Georgia was supposed to go to A&M. And for those that forget, they had to completely scrap the schedule, well, almost completely scrap the schedule and redo it. So that's why Georgia has never been to College Station.
We get to college football, the big deal or no big deal segment of the day brought to you by a really big deal. Our friends at Central State Bank, where they'll take care of your financings like a hometown friend.
Yeah, Central State Bank is taking care of you like a hometown friend because that's exactly what they are. They are the hometown bank, a local bank, the people making decisions about your life, your dream plans, buying a car, starting a business. Those are people that live in your community. They go to churches, the same place you go to churches. Their kids go to school with your kids. They play ball at the same ballparks. That's the people that are making decisions for you. That's why it is so important to deal with a local bank. And Central State Bank is that. 6 locations throughout Central Alabama. They got a place near you. Big enough to meet every single need you have, small enough to know you. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, and if you're curious about a career in the crane industry, the first big step, we've told you before, is getting certified, becoming fully compliant. Our friends at Crane U, they can guide you every single step of the way. Crane U is your all-in-one destination for the crane certification success. They will guide you through every single step of the process, from the preparation both in and out of the classroom to ensure you're fully equipped for even the toughest exams. Then they will streamline your experience. They will administer both the written and hands-on test right there at their facility. Inspections, training, certifications, whatever you need, Crane U's got it handled. One call you make, and you're good. Make sure you tell anybody at Crane U the Next Round sent you. For more information, craneu.com. That is craneu.com.
Okay, very simple. Big deal, no big deal, and then you explain to me the answer. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 facts going into the college football season coming off of last year. These facts come from different stories at ESPN and CBSSports.com. All right?
All right.
Holman Wiggins is the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. Young, up-and-coming, well-thought-of coach, but a new offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. Big deal or not a big deal?
I think it's a big deal. I mean, Colin Klein did a really, really good job with Marcel Reed, and now Marcel Reed, a quarterback that we saw developing and getting a little bit better. We saw the fall off. Now, look, I know Miami's defense was dominant at times, but that home game, you scored 3 points when Colin Klein had just taken another job. You know, I don't know if we can say that correlation will continue, but I think it's something to watch out for with the progression of Marcel Reed.
And I would say big deal, Lance, because you've got a defensive head coach as well. It's not like you've got an offensive head coach that the coordinator can fall to. I mean, it's on his shoulders. It's on Holman Wiggins' shoulders. And I'm with Lance. Colin Klein was this up-and-coming, everybody wanted offensive coordinator, and takes a job at Kansas State. And like you said, they got completely shut down, I should say, not shut out, but shut down by Miami in that playoff game.
Big deal or no big deal, Alabama not knowing who their starting quarterback is yet and starting a new quarterback.
I would say not a big deal. I mean, I think now, if you had 2 bad quarterbacks and that were the situation, this is a big deal. But I don't think anybody thinks Mack and Keelan Russell are bad quarterbacks. Are they great quarterbacks? We will find out. But are they bad? I don't think anybody thinks they're bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal just based on the fact that we've talked about you got to go back pre-Nick Saban to see bad quarterback play in Tuscaloosa. And I think it's like that for a lot of programs that get it dialed in. I mean, when's the last time we saw bad quarterback play at Georgia? When's the last time we saw bad quarterback play at Ohio State? You know, the outliers kind of Clemson. They can't get good quarterback play. Now, once it goes bad, does it stay bad? I mean, sooner or later, is there going to be a bad year? Possibly, but until I see it, not only at Alabama, but under Kalen DeBoer going all the way back to Fresno State.
2 O-line starters, one transferred in from Wake Forest and one from Western Kentucky. Those guys expected to start this year at Texas, that they're relying on the offensive line on 2 new starters expected to be from Wake Forest and Western Kentucky. Big deal, not a big deal.
I'm going to go not a big deal. You like continuity when it comes to offensive linemen playing before together, and obviously this is going to be chopped up and it's going to be new. But Texas has as much money as anyone. They've got good talent evaluators. I find it hard to believe the weakest part of this team is going to be their offensive line.
It sort of was last year, though, wasn't it?
Maybe. I mean, Texas was such a weird, like, enigma because the offense just as a whole was so bad early on, and then it got better and better and better. But I don't think it's a big deal because they pay for the best.
Again, I would say not a big deal, and the point I will use again is your best quarterback in the SEC and one of the best in the nation last year was a Ferris State transfer who transferred to be a backup. So just because a guy comes from a school that might not have a good program or might not be a known name, like Alabama's starting center, is it Cal Poly?
Cal Poly,
yeah. I mean, you know, if a quarterback can come in and be the best quarterback in the SEC from Ferris State, why can an offensive lineman from Wake not be a really good offensive lineman or offensive lineman from Cal Poly? I don't think the factor is where they played before. The guys can either play or not. And the transfer portal has opened the door for those guys to get from smaller schools to bigger schools.
Big deal or no big deal, Dan Lanning, lack of success in the postseason.
Not a big deal yet, but we're getting to a point where it's going to become a big deal, especially let's just look at it this year, because if we go back with Lanning in the postseason, you've had experienced quarterbacks from Bo Nix to Dylan Gabriel. Now you got Dante Moore, who passed up the first round, would have 1,000% been drafted in the first round. He comes back. Like, are we going to have another one of these years where Oregon goes 11-1 and they're one of the top 4 or 5 seeds and they don't do anything in the postseason? Sooner than later, it's going to become a problem if he doesn't win games.
The bigger deal for me is their last 2 games, elimination games, they have gotten scalded.
By the eventual national
champs. But that shows you how far off you are from being the eventual national champion. I mean,
Ohio State and Indiana, they weren't even close.
They weren't even close. They ran them out of the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl, respectively. So that, to me, is the bigger part of it, is like, we're not going and losing by a field goal at the Horn. We are getting run out of the stadium.
Yeah, and in those regular season games back the last couple of years, it was different. You know, I mean, Ohio State actually lost to Oregon. And then on the other side,
Indiana.
you remember the Will Howard slide. And then Indiana, that was really a tight game.
But it took a late drive for them to seal it away.
It did. So, but the look in the postseason was a lot worse.
It was. And that's the concerning part to me, is like in the regular season, we were close to both those teams. And in the postseason, they just blew our doors off.
Big deal, no big deal. USC's history defensively, let me say this way. Lincoln Riley's defensive history as a head coach. Big deal or no big deal. Keep in mind, Gary Patterson is now his defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it is a big deal because, look, we haven't seen this marriage and we haven't seen how this plays out, but we have seen the other 9 years or 8 years of Lincoln Riley, and the defenses haven't been good. They've cost him opportunities to possibly win championships. So is better the defense over D'Anton Lynn got the defense better the last couple of years, and I fully expect what they've got in place with Gary Patterson for this to be the best defense. But it's a problem up until right now.
It's been a big problem, and I think it is a big deal because he's never had the commitment as a head coach to it, and it hasn't really mattered. Like, I know Gary Patterson is a big name, and I respect Gary Patterson. He's a heck of a football coach. But it hasn't been because he hasn't hired the hottest thing going. To Lance's point, D'Anton Lynn was a big-time hire for them. Who was the guy before him? They had a big name before D'Anton Lynn.
Todd Orlando?
Was it Todd Orlando?
No,
Okay.
it was the guy that came from.
There was a big hire. You remember, and everybody's like, well, if he's
No,
hired
it was
him.
it was freaking Lincoln Riley's buddy. It was the kid that was at Washington State.
Why can I not say his name?
Oh, my gosh.
Alex Grinch.
Yeah,
Alex Grinch. Thank you very much, Brooks.
Yeah,
and when he hired Alex Grinch, everybody's like, okay, he has hired a known commodity
But he
here.
didn't tap out quick enough on Grinch. Like,
right.
There was no discipline with the defense. There was no physicality. And because of their relationship, he took it too deep.
He did. But he also hired the biggest name going. And D'Anton Lynn was kind of that way. And now Gary Patterson. So it hasn't been the fact that he hasn't hired big name experienced defensive coaches. They just have not worked under him. So it is a big deal.
Big deal or no big deal, Georgia lost 7 of their top 8 pass catchers from last year.
I'm going to say not a big deal based on the fact that, I mean, when's the last time we've seen Georgia have a dominant
So I was gonna
receiver?
say, I feel like every time I watch them,
pull
they
that back.
don't-
Lad McConkey was a dominant receiver. Brock Bowers, different position as a tight end, but
Zachariah Branch, 818 yards receiving last year. He's pretty good.
But everything was like slip screens. Everything was. I mean, there was like Branch was one of these guys that when we first saw him come on the scene at SC, we were like,
first game
this
at
guy
SC.
is going to be electric.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, Georgia just didn't utilize him like that. I mean, he was very effective. I mean, I think he's got the most catches, single season catches in Georgia history.
I would say not a big deal because I'm like Lance. I never turn it on and think, boy, Georgia's like LSU, man. I shake the trees in Athens and receivers fall out. That's just not who Georgia is.
It would be a luxury if they had an elite receiver.
Yeah, but you know what? They managed to win a ton of games without having what we would consider an elite receiver.
Big deal or no big deal, the Tennessee Volunteers quarterback situation post Nico Amelieva.
Big deal if you get what you got last year from Aguilar. It's about what we thought you would get from Aguilar. What, they won 8 games?
Yeah.
The offense was okay. It's just not even close to what you saw with Hendon Hooker.
And now Aguilar is gone and expected to start right now 5-star freshman Faison Brandon.
I mean, again, you just didn't get quality play out of Amelieva. Maybe you got the best of him. I mean,
I thought he was okay, very average.
Yeah, very average, but that's what he was at UCLA as well.
Took you to the playoff, though, yeah.
He did take you to the playoff.
They could Sampson and running the football in that defense.
Yeah, Dylan Sampson was the big deal there.
Aguilar last year, 24 touchdowns, 10 picks.
He was just, you know, I mean, 10 picks, one of them right down on the goal line against Alabama that kind of, I mean, it 100% flipped the momentum. I mean, Tennessee's looking to go in with a 2-point deficit. Instead, they go in with Alabama with a commanding lead, and you can't make mistakes like that. And Aguilar made too many of those.
Big deal or no big deal, Byron Brown at Auburn's A-Day performance and video from the Elite 11 where he was crashing balls into the ground. Big deal, not a big deal?
I'll say not a big deal just because we've seen the best player in Auburn history have a really bad spring game and then turn it around. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he's going to be that. You're not saying he's going to be that.
No, I don't remember Ben Leard having a bad spring game.
I just don't think it's important. Yeah, Byron Brown's such an experienced quarterback.
Yeah, we've seen Byron Brown play in actual games. Now, if you want to take his actual games and say this is concerning, then it's concerning. But Elite 11 throws in spring games, I'm not going to get wound up about that because I've seen him play in actual games. And again, I think sometimes, like in this industry, when we say, hey, I think Byron Brown could be good at Auburn, it's like, oh, they think he's the next Cam Newton. There is not one person on the show that would even hint at that. He is not the next Cam Newton. But is he an improvement over any quarterback play Auburn has had since probably Bo Nix? Yes, he is. So that's – but now, again, that's a very low bar. Auburn has not had good quarterback play since early Bo Nix.
That's our big deal or no big deal today. Before we do the viewing menu, The show being brought to you by Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. More rain, more storms over the weekend. Some of those wind storms just really crank it up, man. And if you were in certain areas, gully washers yesterday, call Greg, get a free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531. But also call Greg if you have some storm damage. In fact, I would actually call him right before I call my insurance provider because he can help walk you through the process. 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, or stormrestorationroofing.com. You can swing by there and check out everything they have to offer. A-plus rated with a Better Business Bureau, locally owned for over 20 years. Greg Nelson, his wife Andrea, 10 kids. They're just deep-rooted here with a great price point for you and so many things they offer you. But start with that free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com, and our friends at Michelson for the viewing menu.
Yeah, 205-969-8100, the number I called way back in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the laser procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. Him and Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, in my opinion. 205-969-8100. When you call that number, ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, so starting off, this is your daily reminder to go see Obsession, made by an Alabama filmmaker, absolutely crushing it at the box office, on its way to passing $200 million domestically for a budget of only $750,000. It has already surpassed Paranormal Activity in terms of money grossed, and it is Focus Features' top grossing film in their history.
Almost went and saw it last night, Jeeves. I made the mistake of drinking a Willie's by the pool yesterday. My God. And I was like, I can't leave.
Just
like,
one?
Yeah, one big. Well, I mean, I didn't like ounce it out. You know, it comes in a big bottle. And
so you got a big Willie.
Poured a little bit in there. But yeah, but I was reading up on it. It's pretty amazing that this is the first film since E.T. to make more money in week 3 than it did its first 2 weeks combined. So, like, the buzz out there about this film is really, really, and I love that. I didn't hear this. The way he shot it, he shot 2 full sequences of whoever the girl is, where she liked the character, and then one where she didn't like the character, and then he edited it together where you really don't know her true feelings.
Yep.
So, I mean, and this kid's how old?
He is 26 years old.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Oh, what a future, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. And then even younger, Kane Parsons, director of Backrooms, which is the #1 film in the country right now. So go see that as well. It's incredibly well done. And he got his start when he was only 15, just working at home on Adobe and Blender, doing his animation for the original Backroom series on YouTube. So go check those out. But tonight, I will be going on Tubi and watching Thief because I started it last night and then I got really sleepy, but it looked really awesome. There were a lot of cool close-ups of safe cracking, and it just looks sick.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that was his directorial debut, but Tangerine Dream, I know, Brown, you're a huge fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
They score and compose it. I mean, just the music and everything, it's so Michael Mann, just early on, and James Caan is so good in it. You're going to love it.
All right. Also, I want to watch this on Netflix. Last week, I revisited The Witch, and the only film in Robert Eggers, the director of that filmography, I haven't seen is The Northman. Prince Amleth is on the verge of becoming a man when his father is brutally murdered by his uncle, who kidnaps the boy's mother. 2 decades later, Amleth is now a Viking who raids Slavic villages. He soon meets a seeress who reminds him of his vow: save his mother, kill his uncle, avenge his father. And it's got an all-star cast, including Alexander Skarsgård, not to be confused with an axolotl, Jim, Nicole Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Bjork, and Ralph Ineson.
So Willem Dafoe is so weird, the part he plays in this, and it seems like it's really drug-induced. Did not love this film.
Okay.
And then seeing Nicole Kidman over the weekend, Dead Calm. Maddie had never seen it. We watched it late night Saturday night. Nicole Kidman, every piece of her body and face has been redone. Like, unrecognizable from when she was early on.
Did you ever see Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman?
Yep.
Well, that's one way you can find out.
Yeah, watch Dead Calm, though. I'm telling you, back in 87, 88.
On Netflix, they've also added Poor Things to its catalog. This movie didn't really land for me, but a lot of people really love this sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like Frankenstein-esque, but Emma Stone has a fantastic performance in it. And then if you don't want to bother with any streaming services, you can go to the Paramount Network at 5 p.m. because they're playing The Goonies, one of my all-time favorites. And then immediately after that at 7:34, you can watch Tommy Boy, another great comedy. And that's all I got.
And that's what Tyler is watching. I was amazed over the weekend, the security guard coming in, this video on number 2, TV2 down here. I think it's the Reds game where the guy that's his dad holding the kid upside down by the ankles trying to get a home run ball. Foul or no foul by the dad?
Yeah, that's going to be a foul.
Yeah, it's a foul.
Yeah, mom's back home, drinking a glass of wine. And she's like, let's see if they get on TV. And then she sees it and she wants to kill the dad.
I am always
that
fascinated.
Is such a dad thing, though.
What people will do for a baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the kid, now 100% trusting the dad. He never unhooks that right arm.
Nope.
Which is going to prevent him from getting the ball. If you unhook and trust
That's right.
dad, you
Yeah.
get the ball there in that situation. I thought it was a foul, too. Good for the security guard to run over there and the guy not getting mad and dropping his kid. Because, it's a serious injury if he drops the kid there.
He's going to fall a long way.
And on your head.
Yeah.
Top of the hour show brought to you by our friends at Roback, roback.com. I got a little Roback hoodie on today. You get a lot of great gear with our friends at Roback. Look for the dog there, roback.com, roback.com. See everything they have to offer. Great team gear out now. Promo code's TNR20. TNR20, you get 20% off your first purchase there at roback.com. Crave the activity with the next round in roback.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777. Or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show. We'll tell you about the lock and a bunch of other stuff, including our 4 downs coming up in this segment. Lance Cormier joins us at the bottom of the hour, 10:30ish Central Time if you're watching live, halfway through hour number 2 if you're on replay with us on Spotify. But Cormier will come with us to talk about Auburn's disappointment. Alabama likely heading to the College World Series minus a devastating defeat. They're up 7-2, and they need 6 outs to get to Omaha. Troy is going. Cormier updates us on all the baseball. That's coming up. By the way, speaking of baseball, if Alabama and Oklahoma hold on today with their massive leads, 5 SEC teams, 1 ACC, 1 Big 12, 1 Sun Belt out in Omaha. I don't know if you have a bracket where we stand right now yet or not, Forrester, but I think one side of the whole bracket is going to be the SEC.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is SEC or field. Obviously, people are going to take the SEC.
Yeah, give me the SEC, all I can get.
North Carolina is going to be favored to win this thing.
Yeah, North Carolina is there again. More on them in just a second. But they're on one side where North Carolina, Ole Miss, I believe, and West Virginia and Troy, and then all the other schools, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, if Oklahoma and Alabama can survive, and Georgia are on one side. So the SEC would be guaranteed at that point to have a team in the championship series. So crazy.
If North Carolina is that good, and they're favored to win it.
Still can't believe they got out of Super Regional.
Really
this is North Carolina's 9th time to the World Series in 20 years. But here's the crazy stat. We talked about how all 8 teams, all 8 of them are new this year. This from Rob Anderson, who works at Creighton. 31 favorites to win their conference championships when the season started. 0 of those teams made it to the Super Regionals.
Does this not show you how difficult it is to win a championship?
Yeah, I mean, you might be right.
But here it is now. The possibility is 24 different slots the last 3 College World Series in Omaha. 23 different teams for 24 slots the last 3 years. Only North Carolina repeats.
Yeah.
So they were there in 2024 and now in 2026. We're looking at 23 of 24 different slots.
You're just building my argument for me.
Yeah, you really are. I mean, when you first said it, I thought, oh, come on, Lance. We've always said that's basketball. But the more you look at the numbers here, it might be the most difficult thing to do in college sports is win this thing.
Or is it the hardest to actually project who the best team is? Do they do a crappier job?
But I still think that's part of it.
Who the number one team is.
But I think when there's a predictability, like we know that Ohio State, I'll throw in Indiana, Oregon, they're all going to be really good teams this year in football.
Don't you feel like you get more cross-conference games in baseball than you do in any other sport? Because when the season starts with those 3-game series, Jim,
I mean, that's in men's basketball. You get more, of the best of the best.
But hear what I'm saying. You're playing 3 games rather than a one-off. Like when you're in your pre-conference, I'm not even talking about your midweeks.
Yeah, like Alabama is already, I assume Oklahoma's going to be able to hold on against Kansas.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But they've already played Oklahoma 3 times in Norman this
That's
year.
right. But even your cross-conference, like if, let's just use 2 teams in this tournament. If Texas and North Carolina played, they would play 3 games. I mean, it's not like a fluky, they had 1 bad game. I mean, you got a 3-game set right there that's pretty easy to judge on. So I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is tougher to seed them. Or maybe it's just that there's more parity. I do think there's more parity in this sport than football or basketball.
Well, a lot of Alabama fans finally, if you're a younger Alabama fan, not like me, a lot of you during the rain delay yesterday got to see the documentary on the 1983 World Series where, it was a different era, but, Texas had, a couple of major league pitchers like Roger Clemens. Michigan was there. Their starting infield included Chris Sabo and Barry Larkin, who ended up being on the Reds team together. But that was Michigan's starting infield. Had Larkin and Sabo.
It's pretty good.
Did Sabo have the goggles back when he played in Michigan?
I don't remember. I do know though that I think he just had glasses. That Dave Magadan played for Alabama, and they have an interview with Barry Larkin in there. Post after the tournament, later in life after he was a Cincinnati Red, he said, yeah, we knew that they had a guy hitting 492, almost 500. We just assumed they'd played no competition. And then, the first 2 games, I forget who the first one was against, but then it was against Michigan. Magadan started off 4 for 4 and then 8 for 8 through 2 games. And then come back to Larkin, it's like, we quickly realized that he was a good hitter.
This guy can hit.
Hey, so 4 downs on the fly real quick. Would you take Alabama, more than likely is going to be in this 8-team tournament,
Okay.
Alabama to win their first national championship in baseball, or still take their first national championship in basketball under Oates?
I would still take Oates' national championship.
I think I would too.
Lance, we've always said the hardest thing to do is win a college basketball national championship. So.
No, but his teams are going to be good, and they're going to be in the mix every year.
Yeah.
And when does Alabama get back to a College World Series, even if they get to this one?
By the way, they opened up the basketball-only facility over the weekend in Tuscaloosa. Looks really good. Right there as you go into Coleman, over the right field fence in baseball at the other end of Coleman Coliseum. State-of-the-art basketball facility, basketball-only facility opened up in Tuscaloosa over the weekend. It was a beautiful sight. Lance's lock for a play tonight on the Spurs and Knicks inside Madison Square Garden, 7:30 on ABC, lanceslock.com.
We do have Game 3 up and available right now, along with a couple of plays in Major League Baseball.
What's
Jump
the
on
number?
board.
I'm sorry. Game 3, what's the number?
Game 3, New York is 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been going back 1.5 to 2.5. But jump on board, win with this free play every single day at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling. Any of these issues arise in your home or business, make sure you call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Just real quick, back to Brendan Sorsby. Tom Mars, when I say that name,
Yeah, it's the attorney that always beats the NCAA.
everybody hires against the NCAA. Everybody hires now. He's not the attorney in this case, but he's the attorney that almost anybody that's going up against the NCAA uses Tom Mars.
The attorney in this case is the guy who came up and won the House settlement.
Okay, so he's the rising star against the NCAA.
Yep.
Tom Mars, quote to Pete Thamel, "In 40 years as a lawyer, I've never been as shocked and surprised by a court ruling." He said that about the Brendan Sorsby ruling here. This is a guy that has done almost every major case against the NCAA.
Yeah, basically for players' rights.
For players' rights.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been on the player side, and he says of this ruling today where Sorsby has been granted an injunction and is currently eligible to play, in 40 years as an attorney, I've never been more shocked.
From Trey Wallace of Outkick and others, but Trey is where I'll read this from. Brendan Sorsby will be suspended for the opening 2 games of Texas Tech's 2026 season because that was the penalty they presented to the NCAA, that Texas Tech self-penalized the 2 games. But he's good to go for the rest of the season. That is if the NCAA doesn't choose to continue to fight this in court.
I think they have to, and that's that's what we're saying here. You may have let Bediako go if they had not gotten a favorable ruling from the Tuscaloosa judge. Eventually, they may have let that one go just because it was so late in the season. You don't let this one go. I think you got to fight this one to the bitter end.
No, and look, and I'd love to see Sorsby. Do I think he should be eligible? No. I'd love to see him eligible just because I'd like to see what Texas Tech can do with what could be an elite quarterback.
Yeah, they're a better team with him, and I just want to see better teams. There's no way he should be playing.
Sorsby's attorney, Jeffrey Kessler, it is a just result. Brendan gets to devote himself to his team and the education of athletes on the dangers of gambling addiction. That was another part of the settlement was that he would have to go out and teach other athletes about the addiction. He will continue his treatment, miss 2 games, and there is no injury to the competitive integrity of the NCAA. It is what we proposed and what the NCAA should have accepted had it been true to its promises to prioritize the welfare of athletes. That from Sorsby's attorney.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that Sorsby is not going to pop champagne for a while.
I would hesitate on the victory lap, no doubt. But that was your call, Jim, is like their argument's going to be, look, if he's suspended, he can't be a mouthpiece against our mouthpiece talking about the ills of gambling.
Yeah, and then other athletes won't step forward. They'll hide in the dark.
If he's playing, you've got a big voice that can warn other players, and then maybe some other players will come out and admit to it. That, to me, was a weak argument.
I don't know all the details, but I would be shocked if he outed himself. I would think this is somebody else that has outed him.
Yeah, maybe Cincinnati.
And look, he's going to get the help anyway, because if he wants to play at the next level, he's going to have to show the NFL that he's
no doubt.
Up.
3 things before we get to actually, we'll do 4 things before we get to our 4 downs today. One of them is, I don't know what took so long, but West Virginia announces they're retiring Pat White's number 5 jersey. So nobody will wear number 5 again as Pat White's jersey is being retired at West Virginia. It was actually Pat McAfee who started to push for retiring Pat White's jersey. Just so you guys can educate them, all the youngs, on who Pat White was, but 103 touchdowns, 10,529 total yards, and won 4 consecutive bowl games.
Yeah, he was before his time. When Pat White was playing, we really hadn't cracked into the wide open spread offenses. But Pat White in today's RPOs, what he would be able to do would be next level insanity. And I think those West Virginia teams, based on where they are, would have definitely competed for national championships in today's 12-team playoff.
I would say offhand, best player in West Virginia history. Yeah. How are you not already retiring? How did Pat McAfee have to bring this team?
He is. Yeah, like Steve Slayton, who played with him, would be right there. But Pat White is the greatest player in West Virginia history.
Major Harris was the quarterback that took them to the national championship game.
Not even close.
Against Notre Dame. And Pat White was so much better than Major Harris.
Major Harris was pretty good, though.
Well, they ran the option. He didn't throw as much as Pat White. They were, I think, more of a triple option type team back then.
I hope this one's incorrect. The Field Rush had something on this. Recruits, when you make these visits, the OVs, the official visits, they do photo shoots and things. And Michigan fans are going crazy because they believe that the recruits actually leaked the use of white helmets this year for Michigan.
No.
I hope that's not the case. I hope that's just a paint scheme. You add the blue.
I will say though, Kyle Whittingham, man, he seems like the old school football coach, but he let that black creep into the Utah uniforms.
That may have worked at Utah, but at a school
I would agree. But I never understood why you would creep the black into the Utah uniforms, but they did it. So
I'll go ahead and say this though. If you're a first-year coach, Kyle Whittingham, that seems to be an aggressive move if you roll these out at some point.
Yeah, and then you lose a couple of games.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
Now, if I'm Kyle Whittingham, who could have just as easily retired as be a first-year coach, I probably care a little bit less.
Yeah, but I hope that's just for a photo shoot.
I do too.
Yeah, we're going to add the blue later on.
It's actually not a good-looking helmet. Like, if it were a good-looking helmet, I'd still be against it.
I actually believe more that Swift and Kelsey get married at MSG
than
this helmet being rolled out.
I don't know who ended up getting this video. I saw it a couple of places, and no audio was up on either one of these, so I got the feeling it wasn't their video to share on social media, but I'm going to show it, or Forrest is going to show it anyway. Steve Spurrier's wife, I forget her name. Jerry, yes, has taken old Spurrier-era championship rings and turned it into jewelry. Pretty nice-looking bracelets.
That's cool, yeah.
I'm sure she got her own championship rings, but
That's really
She's
cool.
turned the Spurrier-era championship rings.
It's gaudy as hell.
It is gaudy. It looks like something John Hamm would steal on Apple TV.
And absolutely the reaction on social media was, imagine what Terry Saban could do.
Hey, and John Hamm could tell you all about it.
That's right. John Hamm. This championship was won in 1992.
He's almost like Rick from Pawn Stars, isn't he?
Yeah.
That 11 looks like a South Carolina ring.
Yeah. That's actually really cool, though.
Yeah. Because you're not going to wear those rings.
No,
if
not
you're
at
a
all.
female.
But it looks like a heavy piece of jewelry, too.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's maybe her workout. She's a workout fiend.
Take your arm off in Caracas with a machete. For
There's
that.
no doubt. I would not wear it out in some places.
And one more thing in college football before we do our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. 70 great years of compassionate care for men and women. I don't say this enough on the show, but men and women at Urology Centers of Alabama. But for all the guys who are watching us now, prostate health impacts so many Americans. 1 in 8, I think the number is. And we just went through Prostate Awareness Month back in May. Early detection can save your life, but just good prostate health makes your life more pleasurable. Enjoy Urology Centers of Alabama and everything they offer. See it at urologycentersalabama.com, 205-930-0920. 10 wonderful locations convenient to you here in Central Alabama, and they've got everything from prostate health to kidney stones. They do testosterone treatments, other hormonal treatments for the women as well, all right there, urologycentersalabama.com. According to College Football Corners, who put this together, and Seat Geek, the most expensive college football game ticket for this upcoming year currently is not LSU and Ole Miss anymore. It was for a second. It now involves the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, and they're not playing Texas Tech.
God, I would have said Indiana hosting Ohio State.
Yeah, it'd be a big one.
Here is the top 25, again, from the folks at College Football Corner who put this together using SeatGeek. Texas A&M, the most expensive right now. This year, it's back in College Station, correct?
Yes.
That's a big stadium there. Texas, Oklahoma is 2 at the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State, Texas there in Austin. Then there's LSU and Ole Miss, a $541 get in at SeatGeek.
I really do not think. And then there's Texas again at what, 5, 6, 7 against Tennessee?
Yeah, on the road at Neyland.
On the road at Neyland. I really do not think you can overstate the amount of pressure that is on Steve Sarkisian this year to win this whole thing. I mean, this is just numerical evidence of what his fans think of this team, right?
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
They want to be there, Lance. They want to be in College Station to see them win that game. They want to be at the Cotton Bowl. They want to see them beat Ohio State. They want to see them win in Neyland.
Yeah.
That's a fan base that thinks they're going to be dang good.
To Brown's point, go all the way down to 23. There's Texas on the road at Baton Rouge at 278. So there's 5 Longhorns up there, LT. What's Texas's record in those 5 games? On the road at A&M, neutral side Oklahoma, home to Ohio State, at Tennessee, at LSU. Just those 5 games.
3-2.
I was going to say 4-1.
They're 3-2. That's scary because
that's bad.
Yeah, that's scary at that point. Not good.
I mean, I just don't think you can overstate the amount of pressure on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough schedule.
Yeah.
Couple of Tennessee games, and only with Texas, but Alabama at Tennessee right now, get in SeatGeek 438. That Michigan-Ohio State game right behind that at 419. On down through there. Oklahoma at Michigan, 405. Texas A&M pops up there a couple of times. Iron Bowl get in right now. Makes the list, but 287 right now. I'd hold that ticket.
Boy, the Bama-Georgia tickets, do I miss that, or is that not on? Oh, there it is. It's way down there by Auburn, Georgia. Yeah.
305 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
that's kind of low.
From SeatGeek, courtesy of College Football Corner on Instagram, who put that together. All right, Central Alabama Asphalt gets us to LT's 4 downs today. Lance Cormier coming up on the other side of the 10:30 break.
So if you are riding around the great roads of Alabama in our fair state and you see some of that road work being done, the federal projects, the state of Alabama projects, municipal projects, good chance you're seeing our friends from Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction do those jobs. And it may tell you they don't have time for your job. You would get ignored. You could not be further from the truth there. Central Alabama Asphalt has an entire division just for the smaller jobs like driveways, parking pads, a parking lot for a church or a community center or something like that. Same crews, same quality, same no excuse standards. They do it just the way they would do one of the big federal paving jobs, right? If you want to get an estimate for any job, big or small, 205-349-0910, 205-349-0910, or centralalabamaasphalt.com.
First down.
What happens first? Auburn, Florida, or Tennessee wins another national championship in football, or we have a super conference is finally founded?
So super conference or Florida, Auburn, Tennessee?
Yep.
I'm going to go super conference. I would take, and this is no shot at Auburn, Florida, Tennessee. You could take a lot of 3-team groups, and I think we'll get to the super conference before that.
Paul Feinbaum saying again today on Mac and Cube that it's only a fantasy, the conversation about the SEC and the Big Ten starting a super conference. That coming off of what the Senate hearing said last week, where they kept hinting that you guys are trying to form a super conference. We're trying to prevent that from happening. I've got one drawn up. Brooks and I are going to work through some of that for some graphical support. Even though I put it together, I don't like it. I don't want a super conference. I'm going to take Auburn, Florida, or Tennessee winning national championship before we get to a super conference. It is the easiest way to solve all the problems.
It solves a lot of things. It creates some problems for some other schools, but it solves a lot of problems for the big schools.
I probably would go super conference just because I think you could see it in 10 years. And it seems like those three are still a ways off.
Yeah, 10 years is a long time.
It is.
Second down.
Less than 10 years ago, we made it what seemed to be an outrageous state bet that the Knicks winning a NBA championship, they're now 2 wins away. And I think we had until 2040 to make that happen because we didn't think it would ever happen. So, and I forget there was one that involved the Martians coming back. So we'll learn very soon whether that has happened or not.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yep.
Now, how does that bet pay off if it ends up being a hoax, though?
Well, that's a good point.
A&M still hasn't won a. They had till 2027. This is their year.
Yeah, 2027, and then you also had Man on Mars before Jimbo Fisher wins something.
Yeah, it wasn't A&M to win a national championship. It was just to make it to Atlanta.
All they had to do was make it to Atlanta.
Still have it.
At the time, it was just win that division.
And Man is going to hit Mars before
Jimbo wins. Yeah, I think you got that one.
Did you already hit second down?
You did.
On this date in 2002, Lennox Lewis defeats Mike Tyson at the Pyramid in Memphis. To me, Lennox Lewis was one of the most underrated fighters, underrated champions of all time. If I asked you, give me your most underrated athlete, somebody that has never got the credit they deserved.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man, because everybody I think of, I'm like, well, they get a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean, this guy got a lot of credit, but I don't think he got enough credit for what he was. And that was Ken Griffey Jr. because he played so many of his games on the West Coast and then for Cincinnati Red teams.
God, but he was the face of baseball for a long time.
But he was so, can you make a case top 20 player all time?
Oh, yeah. I think he definitely
stays healthy. He's definitely a top 10.
Yeah. But we really didn't talk about him as much as we should, especially now.
Was Steve Avery underrated? The reason I bring him up is because everybody talks about the Braves pitching. You always hear Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz. You never hear anybody talk about Steve Avery.
Because he was there early on. Then he was
the original three. It was him, Glavine, and Smoltz before Maddox came. Avery had that weird blister situation. Remember, his blisters would pop up and he'd have to miss starts because of it. But initially, I think, as I remember it was either the first NLCS or the first World Series, or maybe both, where he was the best of the three, and everybody was like, this kid, because he was the youngest one, too, and they thought he was going to have an amazing career.
Yeah. Tom Chambers, basketball, I thought was super underrated.
Well, this guy got a lot of pub. I was going to say Sean Kemp, only because he was in the West at the time. The Showtime Lakers were dominating the West. Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter and the Trailblazers were really good, and it just seemed like Seattle was stuck way up there in the corner.
I think all those, Detlef Schrempf, who we talked about before, Gary Payton, there were a lot of underrated Supersonics.
Yeah. That was a fun team.
When you play on the West Coast, you don't get as much prime time action.
They were playing late night games, and they were not the Showtime Lakers. And then the East had all the, they had the Celtics, they had the Pistons were good then. Jordan was playing in the East. It was almost impossible to get any spotlight in the NBA at the time. And Sean Kemp, in any of those other markets I just mentioned, might have been considered the best player in the NBA at the time. If he'd have played for the Showtime Lakers, Sean Kemp might be an MVP type guy. Had a bunch of kids.
Third down.
On this date in 1983, Trading Places premieres. On this date in 84, Ghostbusters and Gremlins both premiered. How weird is that Gremlins premiered in June? And it was a Christmas movie, basically.
It is.
But if I asked you guys your favorite 80s comedy of all time?
Probably Fletch. I loved as a kid Spies Like Us. I know if I watched it now, it'd probably be so hokey, but I loved that movie when I was a kid.
No, I mean, Fletch stands up to me.
Yeah.
I enjoy Fletch. That's a good call. I love that humor. It's well written. 50-year anniversary for that, I believe.
Wow.
For Fletch.
Caddyshack.
40 years for Fletch.
40 years, yeah.
40
Fletch
years
was
for
in the
Fletch,
80s, yeah. Caddyshack I would put up there.
See, I would go Breakfast Club 1.
That's a comedy?
That's not really a comedy, though.
Yeah, it is.
Stripes?
I liked Stripes, but I would go Ferris Bueller over Stripes.
Yeah, I'd probably say Caddyshack, Fletch. I liked Fletch Lives.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny. I thought it was really.
It was good.
Yeah.
Midnight Run would be
Smokey and the Bandit. You call that a comedy?
70s.
Yeah.
Is that 70s?
Yeah.
Wow.
Airplane and
75, I
Caddyshack
believe.
both sneak in. They're both 1980.
Yeah, Airplane's a classic slapstick movie. I mean, it probably.
I don't think Caddyshack stands up anymore, to be honest. When
I'm
when I go back and watch it,
I don't
I'm
think
like,
a lot of them do. Like Ghostbusters, when I saw it again,
I
was
loved
awful.
Ghostbusters.
Weird Science was
The
terrible.
Naked Gun was in the 80s.
Yeah, great slapstick. I mean, slapstick in the 80s was really, really good and funny.
Have you guys ever seen Midnight Run?
I've not.
It's just one of the best comedies ever.
I'm going with
Robert
Goonies.
De Niro.
Goonies?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of my favorite
Goonies are
movies
great.
all
Yeah.
time, and probably my favorite 80s movie of all time.
Spaceballs was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Did y'all like that
More
kind
slapstick.
of humor?
Yeah, I liked slapstick. I thought slapstick was funny.
Fourth down.
Kanye West, 49 years old today. If I asked you ultimately better career, Kanye West or Steph Curry?
Kanye.
I mean, he's going to make more money probably. Steph is the best three-point shooter in the history of the game.
He changed a lot of the game. He won a lot of championships, won an MVP.
Yeah.
Are we asking better career?
Yeah.
I'm going to Steph Curry.
I think I will too. Best three-point shooter in the history of the game, and he's got rings to back it up. So
Kanye's become a spoof of himself, correct?
a little bit.
Doesn't matter. He's still one of the greatest artists that has come out in my lifetime. One of the most impactful artists across the music industry.
You know, I don't know who needs to tell you this. I'll do like they do on TikTok. I don't know who needs to hear this. But in your lifetime doesn't matter as much as everybody's lifetime. So.
That's right. We got a bigger lifetime.
So in your lifetime is your thing.
No, but you
Steph Curry,
have
better career.
I'm just focused
existed.
on artists of this millennium. Sorry, guys.
No, but you have existed during the meat of both of their careers. And I mean, both of them kind of contemporaries as far as like them coming up. Kanye a little bit before Steph. I would lean Steph.
I think Steph always had like hype around him, and then like there'd be people gravitating towards like Steph fandom, but then they'd move on to the next
Now
thing.
you say this now, like Steph at Davidson now it would be completely different because he'd get pried away for who knows how much money. But when he got drafted by Golden State, like I was like, I don't know if his size he can create the shots he's going to have to create, and then he just made the game look easy.
Did he get them to the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16?
Elite Eight.
Elite Eight at Davidson.
Yeah, beat Kansas. Sweet
Crazy.
16.
And pretty much a one-man show for that team.
100% a one-man show.
I tell you, I did enjoy early Kanye. There was, I want to say it was Jimmy Kimmel, or maybe it was a different show, but it was one late night show where he debuted a song where he had like 100 drummers. And you can look up the video where it's one of the coolest live performances I've ever seen on television. And it's like, God, I forget the name of the song. I love that song, though. It's probably my favorite Kanye song, but I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll look it up and show it to you in the break.
Jesus Walks, Stronger.
I mean, he was 10 years ahead of everyone else musically.
Yeah, and then it's like he almost, I mean, I know he had some mental health situations, some issues, but it's almost like he tapped out.
Yeah, it's just not there in his music anymore. He's gone through some different controversies and different trials and tribulations.
But I mean, the style that, you know, with the Yeezys, the impact there was one of the first to consistently, I guess, have a Kardashian relationship, right?
Yep. Also, I mean, got everybody spending $200 if they were lucky, on shoes that looked like potato sacks.
Yeah. Never was a Yeezy guy.
Yep.
I had a pair. They were all right. Yeah. Not my favorite.
That's all I got. Yep.
That is 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt. We talked to Lance Cormier on baseball. When we come back on the other side, this is the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Let's go into the boardroom and talk a little baseball with our buddy Lance Cormier after a tough weekend for Auburn fans out there.
This is going to be one of my favorite Zoom interviews ever because, Cormier, it looks like you're interviewing us for a job. We're on one, or you're firing us, one of the two. Which one? Are you firing us or interviewing us?
No, we're hiring. We're hiring you guys.
I'm in.
This is an interesting shot, though.
A full benefit package? Do you offer full benefits?
Yeah, all for sure. You got 401k, long-term disability, short-term we'll stay away from, but we'll take care of everything else, right?
I want to start, and you see Lance on the SEC Network and ESPN during baseball season. I want to start, and I know it was disappointing for you and your family with Auburn getting swept with your son LJ on the mound there for the Tigers some. But when he comes in the game Friday night and they start showing you and your wife, how quick does it take people to text you and say, hey, be careful, you're on camera a lot here?
Well, I mean, that was such a, I mean, like, just to go back, crazy experience, right? I get to call the Troy Super Regional, Troy being an hour and, it said 29. We probably made an hour and 15. You know, I walk in the bottom of the fourth, man, and he's warming up in the bottom of the fifth. So it's really cool experience. But Brown, like, I mean, it's the phone starts jumping every single time. And it's like, so, man, we understand. I mean, I got the director saying, hey, where are you sitting? So I assume that's what's about to happen. But it's a cool thing, man, just to be able to just sit in the stands and watch him just do what he loves. And that was the cool part about just being a dad in the stands.
Hey, these guys brought up the fact that Gabe Gross, the hitting coach there, has taken a lot of heat. 16 hits, 7 runs in 2 games. What happened to the Auburn Bats?
Man, it just runners in scoring position. It's all about, I mean, every single level you play at, it's about getting the hit when it matters most. I mean, like, a lot of offenses can rack up hits, but it might be 2 outs, nobody on, you get 2 quick singles, and yeah, you got 2 hits in the inning, but you didn't do anything, right? And it just came down to runners in scoring position, and for the most part, that had been the biggest thing that had bugged Auburn all year. Whenever they hit some little slides, pitching was there. I mean, star power in the lineup, it's there. I mean, you have guys with I think 4 or 5 guys with double-digit homers right at that. So, I mean, you have power. They started to slug the ball a lot better toward the end of the year. But, man, just getting the hit when it matters most and making the pitch. And that's something that Auburn, for the most part, all year made the pitch when it mattered most. They just didn't get the hit. And when it comes down to postseason baseball, like, those things are just magnified in a sense because runs are not going to be at a premium. Take away the Georgia, Mississippi State Super Regional where home runs were at a premium. But, like, in general, in the postseason, those little small things matter the most. And, yeah, Auburn just didn't get it done. And you look back over the last 2 Super Regionals, have set themselves up nicely and just haven't gotten it done with runners in scoring position. I mean, again, I don't know if that I don't think that's a coaching thing. I mean, that's something that, like you said, Gabe Gross is probably feeling some heat on that and some fans, but I don't think it's warranted. I mean, Gabe Gross is not the one out there trying to hit the ball, right? I mean, it's players got to go out there and relax, not let the moment get too big, all these things. But guess what? The other team has guys that have scholarships. They have NIL money. They're really good too. And Ole Miss, I said at the beginning of the postseason, like, that's a number 2 seed no one would want to face because they have the makeup of a team that can go to Omaha because they have so much experience.
So, I mean, in basketball terms, you're in the Sweet 16, right? So 2 back-to-back years, that's considered successful seasons at most places. But what's the state of the program right now, in your opinion? You've got a son on the team, and I know it's a tough question for you, but you're also an analyst on the SEC Network. In the SEC pecking order, the nation, Auburn healthy, good place to be right now. What's the state of the program at Auburn?
I think as good as it's ever been, just because of the nucleus and the core group of guys are so young. I mean, you're talking they legitimately could bring back every single one of their starting 9, their top, I think, 5 or 6 pitchers. So, like, now, is that going to happen? No, you got to have guys make really tough decisions. You got to have guys turn down things. But when it comes to just the group of guys that they have, where the program is at health-wise, the stadium is, the atmosphere is as good as anybody when it comes to the SEC. Maybe take away Mississippi State when it's Super Bulldog weekend. Obviously, they have more fans. But it's one of the top 5 atmospheres in the conference, and that means that's one of the top 5 in the country. Everything about the Auburn program is headed in the right direction. You just obviously got to get over that hump. Now, last 6 years, they've been to Omaha twice, so it's not like it's been so long since they've done it. It's just a frustrating way to end the season when you've had the number 4 national seed back-to-back seasons, you're hosting both, and you lose in your super regional. You know, everybody's season is going to end in disappointment except one team. So it's just a matter of, obviously, you want to have the opportunity to play in Omaha and to extend it out there. But when it comes down to it, I mean, these guys were really good all year. I feel really confident in, obviously, where the program's going. Butch is, you know, hands down one of the best, not only coaches in the league, but best, you know, mentor, father figure type guys that you'll ask anybody around. And so the program is 100% in good hands at Auburn.
Lance Cormier is with us, former Alabama great, major leaguer. Also, you see him now on the SEC Network and ESPN. You mentioned he had the Troy region. We were just talking about Jay Broof. Lance, you described him as the big old boy that's raking right now.
Oh, my God. I mean, he's doubled his production this season just in regional and super regional.
I mean, this is not some team that's just going to go be happy to be in Omaha. I mean, they can advance over West Virginia, can't they?
Yeah, because they have – obviously, they did exactly what the committee said, right? They said, go out and schedule tougher, get the RPI better. They did that. So, I mean, they played – I think they had beaten 6 regional hosts. And then the fact that, like, then you start showing out a lot of other teams like Mercer, Campbell. There was like 14 Power 5 games that they had. So, I mean, like, they don't care who they're playing. They expect to be there. Take it on now. Like, they have some really good arms. I mean, the number 1 Stubbs that's going to start game 1, he's going to be up to 97 from the left side. Like, you're not thinking mid-majors are running it out there, but that's where the state of college baseball is, that mid-major programs will be running out guys in the upper to mid-90s, on the mound, in the bullpen, doesn't matter. Now, they believe they're an offense that they just keep coming at you. They see pitches, they make you work. And the fact that they're getting so much production from 8 and 9, you mentioned Jay Boroff, Jay Bruce, the great Gambino, like every name that's coming out. And like the guy who, I mean, was a JUCO All-American. Supposedly there were some tweaks in his swing early that obviously coaches are like, what are we doing? Why are we trying to do this? Let's let him do his thing. And man, LT, you said right, like he has literally more than matched his season production in like 30-something games in the last 8 games or 7 games in the super and regional. He's got better numbers than he ever did. So like such a cool story. And for some reason, teams pitched to him the first 6 games. They started getting a little smarter. And the last game on Saturday, they started pitching around him. But when you do that, I mean, like Troy did all this without their 2 best players, Blake Cavell and Jimmy Janicki, the 3 and 4 hole, really doing anything. And so those guys, if they all of a sudden do what they're supposed to do, get hot, this is a team, I'm telling you, nobody wants to play them because they're one of those guys that if you went into a bar fight, you would probably, the guy bumps you, you're kind of looking around, you see your boys from Troy walk in, now you feel a little bit bigger, you're going to poke that chest up, you're going to go start to fight because they're ready to go too.
As a former pitcher, would you rather take in a squad that had 2 dominant front-end guys or 6 to 8 quality guys on the staff?
Oh, I'd rather go out. I'd rather take on the 2 dominant front-end guys. Because, I mean, the 6 to 8 quality that's just going to grind you out mentally, physically. Like, you get done with that, you look at – you're 4 in the 3rd inning, and you're like, dude, I'm already at 103 pitches. Like, because – and you don't feel like it. You might even have a 0 on the board, but they've made you work. They've made you grind, and that's exactly what Troy does. I think it was the biggest dramatic difference between pitches seen for Little Rock and pitches seen for Troy. It was the biggest difference in super regionals. There's over 1,500 or 1,600 pitches that Troy makes you throw that Little Rock didn't, and it showed in the game because Little Rock was swinging early and often. Troy's pitchers got into the 7th, 8th inning, and, man, once they got the lead, they just started cruising.
When you saw the largest crowd at the Joe the other night ever and how that place was bouncing around, as a former player, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's so cool. We used to have those types of crowds in the late 90s where they'd have to bring in seats. You know, you didn't have the permanent structures. You had the guys tailgating in the back, barbecuing. a lot like Mississippi State and those old Grand Slammer years, man, back in the day. I mean, so that was really cool to see because Alabama baseball has always been one of those things that if you produce a winner, the crowd's going to show up. We've seen it with softball. They have won consistently, for the last, 25 plus years with Pat Murphy, and they start selling out their stadium. And so Bama baseball has hit a little slide. Love the energy that Rob Vaughn and his staff have brought back to Tuscaloosa. And right now, 2 innings away, I think, as we speak. They're about to throw first pitch at 11 o'clock, and there's 2 innings. They have a 5-run lead. So Omaha is the door is knocking. They're trying to open it. It hadn't quite gotten open yet, but they're ready to bust through it.
So I don't watch a lot of regular season college baseball, I'll be honest. So I'm watching this past weekend. I didn't even watch a lot of the first round. And I'm seeing Kudzu Hill there in Athens, the crowd at Plainsman, the crowd at the Joe, the 7,000 they packed in down at Troy. Is it like this every weekend?
No. Now you have places, man. You have places like Arkansas, Mississippi State. Atmospheres, like crowds are there. Like Auburn would get, let's say, 6,000, fans. They're not getting the 8 that they do in the regionals. They're not getting the 10. Tuscaloosa is going to get 4. They're not getting the 7. Kudzu Hill has some people on it. It's obviously not the biggest party in town like it is when it comes to super regional play. But, man, like all of these schools in the SEC, and that's why when you look up, there's an opportunity for 5 SEC teams to be in Omaha. They have had plenty of records of having over half, or at least half the field, I think 8 times.
And we froze up with Lance Cormier there at the end. That's okay. It was our last question. Great answer there from Cormier, and the conference meeting comes to an end.
That's right. We just got fired, I think.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Lance Cormier with us, SEC Network and ESPN, joined us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Wonderful folks there, Brownie. You guys are both sporting hoodies today from Inverness.
That's right. I didn't catch that earlier. That's right.
How about that?
ICC. You can see more. ICCalabama.com is the website to go to. ICCalabama.com. For Inverness Country Club, if you're looking for a country club home in the Birmingham area, Inverness can be the spot for you. I highly recommend it. When you set up a tour with our friend Erin, her number is right there at ICCalabama.com, but I'll give it to you here as well. 205-991-8608, 205-991-8608. Erin Hilliard is her name. She's going to give you a great tour that's going to show you a wonderful golf course. It's going to be a good-looking clubhouse with great food on the inside there. Tennis facilities being renovated right now, state-of-the-art, bunch of clay courts and hard courts there on the tennis facility. And the resort-style pool, I hear the kids out there all the time when I'm making the turn there between 9 and 10. It's wide open with that cabana kicking as well. But the thing you're going to find at Inverness is the people. The people are unmatched. Fantastic place to be a member. I've loved it so much. You can set up a tour now, 205-991-8608, 205-991-8608, or ICCalabama.com.
Hey, and if you're looking for a place to watch Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight, what about Odie's Tavern? 2 locations, the original Crestline right there in Mountain Brook, the newest location in Edgewood on Broadway. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Fantastic food from Rodney Davis, almost 4 decades now. The wings, the burgers, sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Live music every Friday and Saturday night. And if weather permitting, great place to hang out on the patio. Stop in either location, Birmingham Institution at Odie's Tavern.
Tomorrow, we're down in Auburn. Team USA starts their version of the World Cup on Friday. Am I right about this? Check me on everything, Tyler. Friday, Team USA starts the World Cup. Thursday, the first game is South Africa playing Mexico in Mexico City at the El Stadium down there.
So we're playing Paraguay Friday at 8 p.m.
Yep. SoFi prime time, correct?
Correct.
SoFi prime time, and then down on Thursday's the actual first part of the World Cup. But tomorrow we're in Auburn getting ready. It's the last tune-up for Argentina. We'll be at Bunkers tomorrow in Auburn. The next round live, we're there 12 to 3 o'clock. So if you tune in tomorrow at 9, not a live show tomorrow until 12 noon tomorrow because of our live show from Auburn. That's the setup at Bunkers in Auburn. If you're in the area for the game, come by and tailgate and pregame with us with our friends at Bud Light 12 to 3. What's y'all's expectation for the atmosphere in Auburn
Well, I was
tomorrow?
going to let you know, too, there are going to be tickets available. You can play for your chance to win from 3 to 6. So when we're done at 3 o'clock, obviously the party's going to continue, and you'll have an opportunity to win free tickets from our friends at Anheuser-Busch right there with Stella, Bud Light live on location.
It is still not a sellout. Are you asking what the crowd was going to be like? Is that what you said?
No, I'm asking what the atmosphere is
atmosphere,
gonna be like.
yeah.
I think it's going to be sneaky good because I think everybody's going to gravitate over to our bar, if that makes any sense. So I think most of the people that are going to be in town, I think it's going to be really, really packed out.
Yeah, but the whole town should be buzzing, correct?
I guess.
Not
I don't
just
know.
Bunkers, come by Bunkers, obviously, but I think they'll be tailgating.
I did.
Would you think it would have helped if Auburn would have beaten Ole Miss this weekend?
Maybe so. I don't know.
It changed the mood a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Did you didn't watch any of the game at A&M, right? The Argentina versus Honduras.
I did not know.
But you were telling me, were you the one that was telling me how many Hondurans live within like 2 hours of College Station?
240,000 Hondurans live within driving distance of College Station.
Yeah. So I don't know what the crowd breakout will be. I doubt there are 10 Icelandic soccer fans in the United States for this.
27 live within the Opelika Auburn metro area.
Like Iceland is probably not a great soccer country.
30 if you count Kuplix.
Yeah.
Is that his team?
No, he's Cole's Croatian.
Croatian,
Yeah,
okay.
he's a Croat. So I don't know how the Argentina fans are going to turn out for this. Because their home base is Houston, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's Kansas City.
Is it Kansas City? So wherever their home base is, it's not particularly close to Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
So I would imagine most of their fans are already there, and they're like, we're going to see enough of this. We don't have to go, in their mind, there's no shot at Auburn, but in their mind, they're probably thinking, why would we go in the middle of nowhere to watch a soccer game? Same for College Station. They're going to be playing them here. So I really don't know. I think it'll be primarily just people like me who I'm taking my daughter who's, starting out playing soccer and loves the sport just so she can go see some professional players play. And I only have to drive an hour and a half to do it.
48, they call them base camps. We're based in Irvine out in California, the USA, not the next round. Algeria is in Lawrence, Kansas. Argentina is in Kansas City. They're actually training at the Sporting KC Training Center. Algeria is at the University of Kansas. Australia is in Alameda County, California. Let's see, Santa Barbara, Renton, Washington for Belgium. Sandy, Utah for Bosnia. Morristown, New Jersey for Brazil. Tampa for, Cabo Verde. Is that a country now? Well, I couldn't pass
World Geography.
my fifth
Yes.
grade class anymore. We changed the name so much. Canada's actually.
So it's an archipelago in Africa.
Do you know what an archipelago is, Jim?
That is a banana republic that may not stand long.
You're not wrong.
It could be one of the same. It's a grouping of islands to make up one large island nation.
Canada's in Vancouver. They're obviously part hosts. Colombia's down in Mexico. Congo's in Houston, Brown. That was the one you were saying. Boca Raton, Florida for Curacao. Good mixed drinks there. Ecuador's in Columbus. England's also in Kansas City. I thought we had one in Chattanooga. I was trying to find
Spain.
that.
Did you already go through the LA one?
It was Spain.
A couple of them, including USA's in Irvine. Japan's in Nashville.
Well, I bet you some
Norway's
of these
in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah, boy, you think these Icelandic countries are those Norwegian countries come down here and get a little southern humidity? They're like, what in the world?
Saudi Arabia's in Austin.
Oh, it's
Clash of cultures.
Well, Japan being in Nashville, Nissan's in Nashville, right?
That's true. Yeah, there is a.
Hey, you're right. Spain's in Chattanooga.
Yeah, they're the ones. Because I remember thinking, I bet Madrid does not have as bad a traffic as Chattanooga, which is remarkable to say.
Sweden is in Frisco, Texas.
Again,
Yep.
the heat and humidity that some of these nations are facing, they probably wonder what in the world they've fallen into.
If anyone's curious, Cabo Verde is off the west coast of Africa near Djibouti.
Oh, right by your Djibouti.
Yeah.
Is it near your Djibouti?
That's
or
definitely south of my equator, by
It's
Djibouti.
near Djibouti and St. Louis. Didn't know they had one of those over there.
Well done.
By the way, over in Marietta, closest one other than, I don't know which is close. I think Marietta is closest to us. Uzbekistan is training over in Marietta.
Uzbekistan. Huh?
Yeah. So there you go. World Cup base camps. When we come back, 15 biggest, meaningful college football games. We pick the winners here in June of those 15 games. I don't. They will. The smart guys on the panel will. New York Butcher Shop gets us to the top of the hour. LT will only swing by New York Butcher 4 times. Is the 3.5 is the over-under number this week.
I did it Friday. We picked up some of the incredible fillets. Look, I mean, not just the great steaks and ribs and chicken and pork, but also they've got dishes pre-made. We did the chicken pot pie a couple of weeks ago, the spaghetti. They've got a great lasagna up there. Stop in, see Jim and that incredible staff. 2 locations for you, the original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. From the fresh meats, the specialty items, the deli sandwiches, catering options, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office is Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world-famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by there and enjoy the great fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order by Sterling and his entire crew. They've been at the same location for over a decade now. That's success times 10 in the restaurant industry. That's the unbelievable atmosphere he's created. Always fantastic food right there at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. Wonderful in-house made sides, in-house made desserts, and so much more. It is Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. Brownie has taken us to ESPN2 on our TV number 6 in studio here.
Is that what I'm looking for? Thank
TV
you.
number 5. It's on ESPN2. It's Alabama, weather permitting, about to start baseball on time here, 6 outs away from going to the College World Series. This seems like a big deal that Alabama's going to be out there. Again, Troy's already there. Auburn didn't make it. The SEC is going to have 5 teams in there.
I checked flights yesterday just to see what they were like, because you would think that certain airlines might add flights from Birmingham based on the fact that 2 teams would be flying out of Birmingham more than likely to get there in Troy and Alabama. But just regular, $900 round trip, and you've got a stop. There's no directs to Omaha.
I drove it one time in a satellite van, a live van.
Long drive, 9-10 hours?
I think it was closer to, with stops and eating and everything, I think it was closer to 16, 17.
Okay.
Dang, y'all split that up? Or you went?
I was by myself.
I would love, I've always wanted to go to a College World Series. Damn, it's gotten so expensive to fly.
Yep. So Alabama's got a man on, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning as they are playing in Tuscaloosa. And really more, you'd love some insurance, but really it's about getting 6 more outs.
No doubt. And I would imagine the most difficult part for Mike Hampton, the St. John's skipper, is his team sat around for a very long time in the dugout last night, or the clubhouse, wherever they waiting it out, and then go back to the hotel. You got to hang around. They've had a lot of dead time. At least if you're Alabama, most of it was spent in your stadium, in your clubhouse, and in your own bed.
Yeah. So Alabama with a runner now at second base as they throw over to first. And to your point, Brown, a very lackadaisical throw and catch effort there by St. John. But this would be one of the worst. If you blow a 5, could be more run lead in the 8th and 9th on your own diamond.
If they were to blow this lead, you kind of favor St. John's in game 3. Yeah.
Yes. That's going to be tough to rebound from that one.
Yeah. To Brown's point, though, again, the next pitch is bounced up there, gets away from the catcher, the runner's over to third. Not that the St. John kids have already are starting to board the plane or anything.
Yeah, and there's more people there than I would have imagined, by the way, for a middle-of-the-day Monday game after that lone rain delay. But this was going to be a BYOE. You're going to bring your own energy. It was not going to be the same feel as the first game felt and most of yesterday's game felt. So I wondered about that with St. John's, if they were going to be able to find the energy that they need in this, and so far it does not look like
that is a commitment from an Alabama fan to show up knowing 6 outs is all you're going to get. Now, you do get to celebrate with the team going to Omaha, but, boy, that's a lot of effort to watch basically an inning and a half of baseball.
11 o'clock on a Monday when you had no plans to be there, that was going to be a tough ask.
I guess game 3 would have been today anyway.
It would have been.
So some people maybe had planned – the parents had planned on being there on Monday anyway.
Yeah, had hotel rooms on Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, how do you guys feel about the stadium setup? I saw all over social media for the fans who were watching games in Tuscaloosa for the first time ever were anti that brick wall.
Right behind the stadium?
Yeah, I always thought it was a good look. Now, would it be a better look if it was that stone they use at Virginia Tech, but that's not what's on Alabama's campus. That sort of mimics.
That's just not a normal baseball look.
That brick wall?
Well, just because you got fans that are closer and a little bit lower down.
Yeah, normal in the Major League Baseball, half that wall's gone and it's seats and you're close to the action.
Yeah.
Now, you can't put any, first round picks on that first row and people, typically you're looking at the first 3 or 4 rows of people. You can't even
Can't even see them.
Can't even see one face.
But isn't that what's behind the ivy at Wrigley Field?
Yeah.
That kind of brick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it is brick. I don't know if it's that specific kind.
Yeah.
So people just tuning in for the first time, and their complaint on a team going to the Super Regional was like, boy, I don't like the way our stadium looks.
Well, I think the shot was actually a little tighter last night where you couldn't see fans. You could just see a brick wall. It does give a little at times, a little. Oh, there you go on social media. Look at that. It does give a little like, hey, we're out in the backyard. Let's use Ryan's house as the backstop.
Yeah. That way no pitch gets away from us. Well, I bet some wild pitches take some crazy hops off that brick, though.
Yeah, if it's not smooth back there.
Yeah.
All right, let's tell you a little bit about our spotlight today. It's going to be some projections, upcoming college football. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight
is presented by our guy Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. You can find them at Shinara.com, Shinara.com. No matter what your issue is, you start with Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys on the legal side. He's recovered more than $2 billion for his clients. $2 billion. So when I say that, you know he's been very successful at what he's done. He could have done it anywhere. He chose to do it in his hometown of Birmingham. He was born here, went to school at UAB, raised here. When it came time to plant his roots and start a firm, he started it right here in Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama's Alexander Shinara. You find him at Shinara.com, Shinara.com.
Okay, Brad Crawford, who I always enjoy when he's on the show, works with CBS Sports. And he points out he's got 15 meaningful games. The key is meaningful games for the upcoming college football season. We're going to project the people either in the game or the winners or both to those. But he says the selection committee members have repeatedly shown the value of marquee victories, road success, performance against fellow playoff caliber opponents. These are the 15 games that will carry the most weight this season from Brad Crawford. I will give you the game. You can go read the details on why he thinks it's meaningful. And then I want you guys, after I give you the game, to either put the two teams in the game as in this first one and then give me a winner. The 15th most meaningful game, according to Brad, CBSSports.com, is the Big 12 championship game. If I said give me two teams in that and give me a winner right now, who would you go with?
I will just be very boring until we get a rematch of last year, BYU and Texas Tech. And just because Texas Tech doesn't have their quarterback situation
Actually, they
final
do right
right
now.
They do currently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Technically, a big swing in that game today.
and by then, you would at least have your backup in Will Hammond. But I'll just take a flyer on BYU, but I think we'll see a rematch.
I will go Texas Tech, BYU. Texas Tech wins that one. Not a rematch this year, which is, I guess, a good thing. I don't know. Maybe we want to see it twice.
Well, you really have to be crazy to say Texas Tech is not in the game now, though, right?
I mean, based on their schedule, too.
Yeah, it feels like you're going way out on a limb if you have somebody and BYU.
But just 2 years ago, when Arizona State won that league, they were picked to finish last, and we were expecting chaos in the Big 12 all the time. Now, all of a sudden, it's almost boring, predictable.
It's almost the most predictable. But I will say this. Let me just say this. Clemson was last year.
Yeah.
All offseason last year, we're going, if you could predict one conference, it's Clemson in the ACC.
Right.
And last I checked, one team went to the playoffs. Two teams that didn't go to the playoffs played for the conference championship, and none of those teams were Clemson.
Yeah.
Which was kind of hard to do, really.
That's why I leave open a Houston or somebody like that from the Big 12. Utah, Arizona maybe sneaking in there. But if I had to pick, I would go Texas Tech, BYU, and I think I would go with you, LT, that BYU gets them this time. 14th biggest game, Texas at Texas A&M, November 27th. Most meaningful game, not biggest, most meaningful game. They go read what Brad writes, but without reading it, I would say this has had playoff implications the last 2 years for Texas A&M.
Well, it has, and A&M cannot get over the hump in this game. And either the numbers are going to catch up or there's a real problem right there. I could really foresee this game being
winner in,
loser out, which would be remarkable television if that's the case.
And that's going to be bad for, either of these guys.
For Sark, yeah.
Because you look at Elko, he's 0-2 in this game now, and, he's done everything right. He's gone from 9 wins to 11 wins and hosting a college football playoff game there at Kyle Field. But if they were to lose to Texas again and it ultimately costs him a spot, that'd be a bad loss, but at the same time, it'd be even worse for Sark. The talent's Texas has got more talent, but obviously A&M's got talent to play with them. I'm going to lean that A&M wins this game.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably going to have Texas winning the national championship, but give me A&M here in an upset.
Wow. You
Thread
got
the
Texas
needle.
you got Texas to win the championship and A&M to pull the upset.
Keep in mind, when Ohio State won theirs, they lost to Michigan.
Yep.
I get it.
Now do 2017 Alabama.
And when they lost theirs, they won theirs, they lost to Auburn. So it can happen. And that was a smaller playoff, too. You had to get 4 teams in there.
13th on his list is BYU at Utah, November 7th.
You saw it's the 4th highest ticket right now in college football, so people love that holy war. I will lean Utah at home because that game will be a primetime game, and Utah at home, Rice Eccles at night that's a tough out.
We're putting some faith in Morgan Scalley, never having seen him as a head coach, obviously.
Knows the program well, though.
I did see the first line of what Brad wrote at CBSSports.com, and he said, first holy war in a long time without Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah, he has been a mainstay in that thing. I'll take BYU. I'll go BYU.
Ohio State and USC play each other on October 31st, Halloween night at L.A. Coliseum.
I am planning on being there right now, and I love the fact that it wasn't one of the top 25 highest priced tickets. I think USC beats them. I really do. I think Ohio State's going to lose multiple games this year, and I think one of those is going to be in the Coliseum. Not that the Coliseum crowd will have any factor or any bearing at all, because, I went to Iowa, USC. There was probably as many Iowa fans in a torrential downpour as there was USC fans, and I think there'll be more Ohio State fans in the Coliseum.
How many SEC games have you been to at the Coliseum?
Only 2.
Only 2. Mm-hmm. So you're maybe a bad person to ask this. I was going to ask, because it gets called the Mausoleum, because it's so quiet and
They've done a lot of renovation. So the first game I went to was against Oregon, Justin Herbert and Sam Darnold. It was a fun game. SC ended up blowing them out. But the renovations they've done, they have tried to liven it up with game activities and stuff, but I couldn't get a good feel because you guys remember I was out there in a storm.
Terrible weather, yeah.
I would say this, that number 2 on Brad's list at CBSSports.com is Ohio State at Indiana, October 17th. So I will, and also on his list is Ohio State at Texas. So by the time you have USC beating Ohio State, is there a chance that's their 3rd loss on October 31st?
It could be, nail in coffin at that point.
Now, I do think the whole month of November still to go.
With Ohio State's schedule, that 9-3 could still get them in. I think we're going to, as long as we keep this 12-team playoff going, as long as that survives, the chances are better and better that we get a 3-loss in. And with Ohio State's schedule this year, I think they could probably absorb 3 losses and still get in. But, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, from what I'm hearing from some well-placed people, enjoy your 12-team playoff this year. That next year it's 24. So
interesting that TV doesn't want it and the SEC doesn't want it.
ESPN, I can remember a time when ESPN had no interest in that, Jim.
Yep. So I think 24 is way too many.
It is. We'll sign up for it, though.
Well, we'll see. Oklahoma at Michigan, September 12th. Very early, the 11th most meaningful game of the upcoming season, according to Brad Crawford.
I'm selling Oklahoma this year, so I'm going to take Michigan here.
Wow.
Yeah. I think if you follow me, you know that I've been selling on Oklahoma a little bit. I did not like the way they finished the year last year offensively. Defense bailed them out time and time again, and I am not a believer in Mateer.
Yeah, I would take home team here.
Yeah.
It was kind of an ugly game last year. Underwood made some mistakes. I think he's going to be better. I think Mateer is going to be better. I trust Whittingham even in year 1 a little bit more than Venables. I think it'll be a hell of a game, but I lean home team Michigan here.
Earlier, big deal or not a big deal in our segment. Go back and watch that in segment number 1 if you missed it. I did not get, but I had it down. The inexperience on Oklahoma's defense, big deal, not a big deal. I take it, Brown, you think that's a big deal.
Well, I don't know that they'll be as dominant as they were last year, but Venables he's still going to have a really good defense. My bigger concern about them is can they be better offensively? Now, I do not trust Mateer. I don't trust him.
Top 10 most meaningful games. Oregon at USC, September 26th is number 10 on this list.
See where you go right here, because USC could have some big home wins.
Oregon has had their number.
I'm going to take Oregon.
I probably lean Oregon here too.
Which would make USC. What date is that? That's before the Ohio State game.
September 26th, Oregon at USC.
Yeah, because you guys know I'd like this USC team a lot, but I think Oregon right now would have them playing for the national championship and maybe even winning it. So,
boy, that's a good season ticket at USC. They're getting Oregon and
it really is,
and and Ohio State.
Michigan at Ohio State is number 9 on this list. A lot of Ohio State here. That's November 28th. That may be a win-in, loss-out situation for Ohio State and or Michigan.
Yeah, I'll take Ohio State, though, in Columbus.
You know what I could see here, though, is as we try to thread needles on where we pick these games, I could see Ohio State being in the playoffs and Kyle Whittingham just kind of having a year, but then he springs this upset at the end, and all the Michigan people get on
7-4 going into this game.
Yeah, and all the Michigan people are like, okay, there's our guy. He goes to the horseshoe and ruins it for Ohio State.
LSU at Texas is November the 14th. By that time, we'll know a lot about Lane Kiffin and whether or not Sark is meeting or not meeting expectations.
I'll take Texas.
Think I will too.
Yeah. Ohio State at Texas, we mentioned that one earlier in that very first game. Finally, at number 6 on the list, you get an Alabama game, Georgia at Alabama, October 10th. I don't know how meaningful you guys think that is to the season for both Kirby Smart and Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, I think it's definitely meaningful. Because one of those teams is going to absorb, maybe second or third loss of the season. I'll lean Alabama just based on the history. I know Kirby kind of exercised the demons in Atlanta, but I'll lean Alabama. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama has owned this series, obviously with 2 exceptions there, and one of them is hard to ignore. Georgia blasted Alabama in that championship. Well, I should say blasted. The score probably was not indicative, but Georgia dominated that game against Alabama. But there again, these are generally the types of games DeBoer wins. He's playing a higher-ranked team, which Georgia will be. He's playing them at home. They're the underdog. These are the types of games that don't trip him up. So I guess I'll go Alabama here.
5 most meaningful games. The first 2 are on November the 7th. Oregon, number 5 at Ohio. The 5th most meaningful game, Oregon at Ohio State. And the 4th most meaningful game, Miami at Notre Dame. Same day, November 7th.
I will take both home teams. Damn, really good games. Wow.
Yeah, that's a heck of a day.
Who's going to be primetime?
We already
Alabama, LSU.
Oh, yeah, Ohio State will definitely be the big noon.
And Miami, Notre Dame's primetime as well.
Yeah.
You got Bama, LSU, and Miami, Notre Dame.
And that's another thing. It didn't affect them last time, but again, body clock, that's going to be a 9 a.m. kick, or excuse me, an 8 a.m. kick for Oregon.
9 a.m.
8 a.m.
Well, it's noon Eastern, 11:10, 9.
11 Central. Yeah.
11 Central.
Oh, yeah.
9 Pacific.
But either way, it's an early body clock kick, to your point.
It's 8 o'clock to run out and start warming up.
Yeah, that's true. They'll be on the bus at 6:30. Miami's not beaten Notre Dame outside the state of Florida since 1984. And they've played a lot. I mean, it's not like 1 or 2 games. They have a difficult time beating them outside the state of Florida. I know that Mario Cristobal is everybody's crush right now, but I think Marcus Freeman's the better coach. So I will take Notre Dame in that game. You think Freeman's the better coach?
Yeah.
Big Ten championship game is number 3 and number 1. We already given you Ohio State and Indiana 2 is the SEC championship game. Really, how meaningful are those games?
Yeah,
now?
That's surprising that you have those number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't even know how to predict who's in them.
But, I mean, you could be playing for the number 1 overall seed in either one of those games.
But again,
I would imagine one of them is the overall number 1.
Yeah, but I think both teams in the game, I think we learned this last year with Alabama, both teams in the game are safely in the playoffs. I mean, Alabama was not in danger. I mean, look, they lost that game, 28-7, and still made the playoffs with 3 overall losses.
And still won a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, won a game in the playoffs. So I think both teams in that game are safely in the playoffs. So that to me just minimizes its meaning. Boom, right there.
Probably wouldn't have made my list of top 15.
Well, I mean, if I know that both teams are in the college football playoff, it is kind of hard to give it that much meaning. But you're right, a 1 or 2 seed is what would be on the line.
Brad Crawford, CBS Sports, a lot of good content there. We're in the top of the 9th, so Alabama cruised through the bottom of the 8th with no problem against St. John. So
they did get 2 on.
Yeah, 2 on. One of them was a hit by pitch, and one hit and one hit by pitch. But I
was just thinking of the 3-run bomb here makes things interesting, but they did get out of it.
Meaning unscathed. 7-2 still the score is what I meant there. Is top of the 9th. So Alabama will be 3 outs away from going to the College World Series out in Omaha.
Crowd much better than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, again, for 11 o'clock on a Monday when this game was not supposed to be at this time, that is a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, I thought it would be a COVID game. It looked like
I kind of thought so too. Yeah.
Friends and family only, but some kids there, and they're having a good time. Oklahoma, you sort of got the feeling ESPN2 knew it wouldn't go extra innings because They lined up the Oklahoma game to start at 12. 11 for Alabama St. John, 12 for Oklahoma.
Now that will be a bad crowd, because if you're a Kansas fan, why come back to that game?
Well, it's only in the third inning, though. If I'm a I'd like that could get interesting. Kansas got a really good offense. They just have done nothing in this game. 8-1 right now.
8-1.
But it's in the third, so I still think Kansas has got a shot.
Part of me, if I'm a Kansas fan, though, like, I'll go work half a day and see if we get the if game out of this, and then I'll go to the if game. I'll go to game 3.
I can see that for sure.
Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 6. First, Ole Miss coach Mike Bianco, who won a national championship, and then they were 9-24 in the SEC after that. And they have struggled, but they still have a handful of guys, including Will Furness, who will be in the middle of this picture right here you'll see with Mike Bianco, still on that team from the national championship team. So a handful of those guys are still around that didn't go anywhere else when they started to struggle. So Ole Miss eliminated Auburn, and now all of a sudden with the ranked teams falling off, this Ole Miss team has become a sexy pick to win the national championship.
Obviously, I'm as I sit here, very proud of my guys. It wasn't easy, obviously. I'd like to, at some point, go back and watch the games, because it had to be, 2, hell of a games that, the fans got to see, not just here live, but on television. But our beat reporters have heard us say and kind of use the mantra that, we handle hard well. And our guys have done it. They did it last weekend in a very difficult regional in Lincoln, Nebraska, and just a great opponent, great atmosphere here, and our guys just continued to handle it.
Perception is not reality, because if you would have asked me about Mike Bianco, I remember when he was going to get fired if they wouldn't have made that run back in 2022 and ultimately won the national championship. It was very Ryan Day-like without the Ryan Day results on the front end of it.
Yeah.
But then back-to-back years, to your point, they have losing records in 23 and 24, but here they are back in the College World Series. So I would have been like, he's done a hell of a job there.
I feel like, Lance, he probably had worked his way right back to where he was before they made that previous run. Like, I bet if they did not make it in this year, now, look, they were safely in this year. The year Lance is talking about, as we've mentioned a couple times on the show, they were the last team in. And if they don't get in, he's probably getting fired, or there's going to be a lot of pressure to fire him. I don't know that he was going to get fired for not missing, but boy, he's been under a lot of heat.
Since playing and winning that national championship, you know how many games under 500 in the SEC they are?
I bet a lot.
In the last 4 years, they are 24 games under 500.
24 under?
Yeah. They were 6-24 and 23, 11-19 and 24, 16-14 last year, and 15-15 in conference this year.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy to be 24 games under, but you've got to book in one national championship, and now that you're here in a field of 8, they could easily win this thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's contract extension now. I mean, it is perplexing, though. Like, the regular season results just have not been there, but ultimately you don't play this game for regular season. I mean, if he can put a run together, and look, I mean, think about for one moment.
Damn,
now,
I didn't realize you know how long he's been there?
Forever.
2001.
Yeah.
He was there with Eli.
I know. I know you say North Carolina is going to be the favorite, but hey, this is a one-game situation where you're pitching your ace. They spring that upset on North Carolina. Now look at you. You're getting a Troy Little Rock winner. I mean, this guy could be right back in the championship series easily.
Yeah. Georgia will get a lot of picks to win it all. I think they're the highest remaining seed left in the tournament.
Yeah, I thought it was going to – it's one of the three. It's either North Carolina, Georgia, or Texas is going to be your favorite.
Georgia head coach Wes Johnson, who was the pitching coach at Mississippi State in 2016. He was the pitching coach at Arkansas in 2017 and 2018. He was the pitching coach with the Minnesota Twins from 2019 through 2022. Then he was the pitching coach for LSU in 2023. And now he's the head coach at Georgia in 24-25. And here in 26, he's taken the Georgia Bulldogs back to the College World Series.
Thinking a lot of people I need to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus, my wife, I think about Charlie Condon, who's stuck here with me. Could have left, didn't. Helped us build this thing. With that, I'll take questions.
That's really cool. That's really cool, man. I love the emotion. That guy couldn't even get through it. Said it like he had just won an Academy Award or something, thinking Jesus is my wife or a NASCAR race. But that is really, really cool to see that type of emotion. Good for him.
Little Phil Mickelson in him.
So he's on his way to the College World Series. Obviously, we talked about Troy in the opening segment, Alabama trying to add some insurance in the top of the ninth before they try to get 3 outs and hopefully finish this off before our show is done today. When we come back, we'll get to trash. That's coming up on the other side. Hopefully, if Alabama and Oklahoma can finish the deal, Michelson Laser Vision will be looking at 5 of the 8 teams in Omaha from the Southeastern Conference. You can see clearly with our friends at Michelson moving forward. What do they need to do, LT?
It's very simple. Stop procrastinating first off. If you wear the glasses or the contacts, you've thought about LASIK. You don't know if you're right for LASIK. You need to go in, see Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson. They'll screen you out. They'll make sure you're a proper candidate. And if you are, then do what I did in 2003. Get the procedure done. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. I still have 2015 vision better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy for more information. MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation, insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531.
Hey, there's nothing worse than
it's
waking
Storm
up to a plumbing problem problem, don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Alabama's 2 outs away as we watch that on one of our TVs here in the studio today from going to the World Series. Brown's got something on that after LT tells us about our friends at Hemp Hill.
Hemp Hill Services, the number that Birmingham has memorized and called over and over again since 1954. The name Birmingham has trusted for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling issues, whether they arise home or business. They are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop at Terrain, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
If I gave you the opportunity to represent one current Alabama athlete, LeBaron Philon is not a current Alabama athlete, for their entire career, would you pick Justin LeBron, the Alabama shortstop? They were saying in the game over the weekend that almost everyone thinks he's a top 10, top 15 pick as a shortstop.
Yeah. He's been projected very, very high.
And just to put it in perspective, I'll give you the number because I know Amari Allen is intriguing because of NBA money. Francisco Lindor, that was a heck of a catch right there.
What a way to end it. Sliding catch in the right center field gap.
Yeah.
And there's the dog pile for Alabama and their military appreciation.
Yeah, I think
uniforms.
I might, Brown, because for the first time you don't have
a football player that's super
Yonce
obvious.
Pierre is going to be really good, but if this kid obviously playing shortstop, defensively, he's a stud.
Hopefully right now he's not on the bottom of that pile.
Yeah, so there he is right there on the top. Get him off. Francisco Lindor is your highest paid shortstop. And the thing about Major League money is like Lindor's on a 10-year guaranteed. That's what you get in the Major Leagues is the 10-year guaranteed.
Yeah, I think
he's at $341 million, Francisco Lindor.
I would still take the lefty Mississippi State freshman if I could take one of these
I'm going
guys.
Alabama.
No, I'm just saying.
I got what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm just going like SEC or college baseball right now.
I was just thinking, I don't know a time when you could say that about a baseball player at Alabama where you're like, if I could take one player's future, and I think I would too with LeBron as a shortstop. I mean, you're like it's a roll of the dice on any of them, but the kind of money they pay in Major League Baseball over long periods now.
Yeah, going back to the rain delay, seeing the documentary for some of you that had a chance to do that, Dave Magadan in 1983, I really thought he was going to be a long-time star.
And look, he was a long-time, he was that guy that you could, obviously he started a lot of games, but a guy you could bring off the bench cold to get you a pinch hit, but he wasn't the career hitter a lot of people believed. Had a good longevity in today's baseball terms, probably would have made, $30, $40 million grinding it out. But, yeah, I think most people thought what you thought is he was going to be, one of the best for a while.
Boy, an incredible scene in Tuscaloosa. The players have climbed the right field fence and with the students, the right field Rangers there. Yeah.
Ragers out there. So that's all happening in Tuscaloosa. Greg in Pell City on the NBA Finals before we get to trash today. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Hey, guys. Good morning to you. Hey, before I ask you something on the NBA Finals, I've been meaning to ask this for years. Every now and then that Cody block, I think you had something on there about the loudest stadiums during different times. And even though that was years ago, one thing I've always wondered, and I don't know if it was ever talked about, when Cody blocks that field goal against Tennessee, the replay they always show is that ball rolling around on the field, and it looks like Bama's about to run up and grab it, and there's a referee standing over it. And Cody's running down the field taking his helmet off. Could there have been a personal foul there? Because I never saw.
If you remember the game, it was on CBS, obviously. Gary Danielson actually brought that up. Now, that was a Gary Danielson staple, taking a great play and trying to find a penalty in it. He used to do that all the time, and it would drive me insane. But he actually brought that up, that there could have been. Now,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, if the ball crosses the line of scrimmage It's only live and able to be advanced if the defensive team touches.
Yeah, once the offensive team touches it, the play's dead.
That's right.
Yeah, but to your point, the
Okay.
penalty, I guess, technically by rule could have been called. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the play was still going. I mean, boy.
It was talked a lot at the time. It was talked about a lot by non-Alabama fans.
I don't remember that at all for some reason. But anyway, here's what I wanted to talk about.
I should introduce you to a show in the afternoons. It's called Paul Feinbaum. If you ever listen to that, you'll get different sides of the aisle views there from fans that were not of Alabama who wanted to point out that he took that helmet off that year.
As long as the defense doesn't touch it
okay.
after it crosses the line, there's nothing the offense can do. And I think that ball. I think that ball crossed the line of scrimmage. I've spent a long time.
It did. No, it did cross the line.
Okay.
I just, if I was, But all right, on the NBA now, I've kind of dialed myself out over the last few years, but I've got back into this one. This is, just everything going on with the Knicks, and I'm pulling for them to do this. And but the one thing that I've been here. I was a big Jordan fan. I love that. I love Jordan, and everybody says Jordan would average 60. The way they played the game today. I don't know if I've missed something, but to me, this game looks like they're playing in a damn YMCA with no referees. It's like I don't know how Michael would score 60. I mean, to me, every time they come across half court, they start pushing them with the ball. To me, it just looks so rough. Did it used to be that way?
Oh, I thought it was rougher. I thought it was rougher.
Yeah, I will say, though, in San Antonio, with their big guards and how they like to defend you, Greg, they did let them get a lot handsier than, and this has been kind of one of the arguments in the NBA, like court by court. Oklahoma City got all the calls this year. It seemed like San Antonio got a good bit of those calls over games 1 and 2, still lost. It will be interesting to see how this thing is officiated in game 3. In my opinion, the NBA really needs San Antonio to win this game for whatever that's worth.
Well, and the narrative has become Karl Anthony Towns is roughing up Wemby, right? I mean, that his play on Wemby. So you wonder if there is more magnified officiating on Karl Anthony Towns.
But you should be able to do that. I mean,
I agree. I think he has gotten Wemby off his game.
The game is no fun if it's free access to the rim all the time.
Well, but to me, the roughness is happening as soon as they come over. The Knicks, especially, come over half court. It's like they get pushed. I mean, they push to a corner and they got to turn around and throw it. I don't know. I just don't. I went and watched some old Bulls championships. I never remember getting hit like that as soon as they come over half court. But anyway, it's a fun series. I am back involved a little bit with this one, but we'll see what happens. Thanks, guys.
All right, Greg from Pell City there, stormrestorationroofing.com.
If you're Wemby got blamed in large part for that meltdown because he threw the ball off the guy's back. But in that situation, he can't just turn his back and run away from the ball.
Oh, it looked worse. You're right. I mean, Castle's got to be turned around.
Yeah, if you're a ball handler, you've at least got to present yourself to the guy with the ball, right? I mean, I guess
but a lot of people expect Wemby in that situation to bring it up the court because he's so good at it.
Yeah, I get it. Boy, that was I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean,
you still had a 15-footer to win the game.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nick Kelly, AL.com, if you follow him on social media, always a great follow, especially for Alabama stuff, has sent this out. Of course, it has it already. The final out, caught, and here's the dog pile in Tuscaloosa from the lens, the iPhone, maybe Android, but I'm going to go iPhone, of Nick Kelly there on social media. And here's the best part. If you are on the outer edge of a dog pile, you're not the first one at the bottom, the catcher usually. You can jump on, you can jump off, you can jump back on again. If you're down on the bottom, there's no jumping back up. You're surviving down there.
I've never been in that situation. We did not have those in golf, but I always wonder how it feels at the bottom. I mean, that has got to be
probably not good.
It's got to be claustrophobic, doesn't it?
The key, though I've never done one, the key I think is making sure you're almost not planking, but you've got your elbows to where you're not flat on the ground.
That's right. That's going to be hard to do on the fly, but you're
but
probably
as I say
right.
that may be where I'm exposing my rotator cuff to being ripped
possibly,
out.
Dislocated shoulder.
Yeah. So good for Alabama fans. You get to celebrate, and you get to go to Omaha next week. Day 2 action, day 2 bracket for those that were Saturday, Sunday, Monday regional. Oklahoma will try to finish things off and become the fifth team to make it from the SEC out of the 8. Rob Vaughn is shouting out the crowd They've even got a pennant ready to stick on the wall out there. So just a good scene in Tuscaloosa. That gets us to trash today. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Tyler, hit it, man.
I heard the row. I felt that row. I knew that you keep it pushing. I knew that. After I see the people run, I just see something big just walking, just right over here, right here by the bush. It went right over there. I swear, I promise you, it went right over there. And it said row, and I just kept walking. I seen me see it. So in my head, I'm like, nah, I gotta go, man. I'm out.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. I want to remind you, tomorrow from noon until 3, we will be at Bunkers. And then from 3 until 6, our friends from Anheuser-Busch, they're going to be down there with your opportunity to win tickets courtesy of Michelob Ultra. Coming to Bunkers June 9th, 3 o'clock. Play for your chance. Get there early. Hang out with us. We would appreciate that. Did you guys see Morgan Wallen over the weekend?
You know, I missed him. Where was he?
Did he stop a concert in the rain, or is that an old?
This was throwing someone's phone like a frisbee.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, man. I don't get it. It's like he can't get out of his own way. But there was a security guard, and a girl had handed the security guard her phone, and so the security guard back is to the stage, and he's just holding it up for this girl to be able to film Morgan Wallen, and he takes it, freaking chunks it.
Don't know why Morgan would have an issue with that. That's a weird thing to get wound up.
Really
Everybody at the concert has their phone
Well,
up.
and think about
is he upset that the security guard is filming at a better angle?
Well, I don't think he can even tell it's a security guard. I guess he would assume it's a security guard. But my whole thing is, first of all, I mean, cell phone's pretty expensive.
Now I get it for the fans that throw their phones and stuff.
That should be crushed immediately.
Your
I
phone
got no problem with
deserves to get drop kicked across the stadium if you do that.
But you're spending hard-earned money to come watch Morgan Wallen, and then he's got your cell phone, and not only the cost of the cell phone, the pain in the ass to get everything replaced.
I'm thinking about being out in the stands, not expecting and getting hit in the head with it as he threw it out there.
Yeah, he's already done that with a chair, which led to a lawsuit.
Well, he flipped the piano this past week too, didn't he?
I don't know.
The only thing I can think of why he would get upset is the ticketed person is filming from an area that their phone should not be filming.
Yeah, maybe so, but my point is every other person. Oh, Cody, we got video.
Total dick move. I agree, but that's the only complaint I can think that he would have.
Oh, it's actually the security guard. Is that? Oh, he took it. Oh, he slung it across the stage, so it didn't go out in the crowd.
Well, yeah, but still, what are we? I don't know if he can control
that's
that.
Good.
Yeah,
at least it didn't go out.
I mean, you think they're getting that phone back?
No, but our point is there's probably no lawsuit now. If somebody gets hit by that phone, it's going to be lawsuit city.
You see, most artists kind of embrace this, right? And get up to the phone.
I see way more often people will artists will grab the phone from the security guard or from the fan at the barricade, and then they film a little selfie video and then hand it back to the fan and go about the concert.
Yeah. Well, look right here. Watch his reaction. The security guard. He thinks, all right, Morgan's got my phone. He's about to have he's about to shoot some selfies with it. Nope. Just slung it across the stage.
That's a good, hardworking fan base. You don't want to get on the wrong side of them. I'm not saying
I don't know
he will.
He can. I don't know that he's tried.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? And this is old news to some that follow them. Treaty Oak Revival, I think, down at Orange Beach. I don't know when the concert was, but they have a song called Boot Camp, where everyone throws their beers in the stands, and they do that to. It's a tradition. They've done at all their concerts back to their bar days, and it's basically, I saw the guy saying that the lead singer that we do that to, you can be rowdy right here for this one point, throw everything, get it out of your system, but then sort of be under control for the rest of the concert. But it became so rowdy, so out of control, they had to shorten the concert. Brooks, help me out here if you know the details. They had to shorten the concert, but it's a everybody's gunned and ready, waiting for them to start boot camp, and then half full beers are flying in the stands everywhere.
I was just at their show 2 weeks ago when they were at the Coca-Cola Amphitheater, and I definitely got some beer thrown on me.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
It wasn't that bad. I was in the 300 section, which is the back section, so I didn't have as many people behind me. But down in front, there had to be people soaked with beer. I mean, there was just beer.
Too old for that shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, a good amount of people have been to the Coca-Cola Amphitheater here. It's like $15 a beer. I'm not wasting my.
Yeah.
I did not throw a single beer.
I was going to bring that up too. Like, if you know when they're going to play the song, do people, do they prepare? And
Well, I saw one guy on his social take his full beer, pour a little bit of it into
water,
a cup, and then through it. Continue the tradition. But I'm like,
Yeah, but I ain't gonna waste my beer.
I'm gonna give a quarter of my beer up, but I'm gonna keep 3/4 of it.
Man, I saw the footage from this. This is weird. New York Police Department is looking into something that sounds ripped straight from a comic book, with mysterious groups of people caught on camera climbing in and out of New York City sewers
I saw this
in the dead of the
story.
night.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. Now, at least 3 separate incidents have been recorded across Brooklyn and Queens. While police say there is no threat to public safety, they have confirmed an active investigation at the time of writing. Not clear who they are or what they're doing.
One of them's dressed like Mario.
I was about to say they look like the Mario Brothers. They're going down a warp pipe.
Is that Waluigi?
According to the Washington Post, first incident, May 5th in Queens, saw 3 people in full waterproof waders pry open a maintenance hole cover and then disappear underground. Local auto shop owner summed it up best. Quote, "These guys look like the Ninja Turtles." Very strange, man. Very strange. Now, in Brooklyn, around 7 people surfaced from a maintenance hole at 2 a.m., having apparently spent 3 hours underground before calmly changing clothes by their parked cars. Now, a third group in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, popped out of maintenance hole in the middle of an intersection wearing headlamps and carrying shovels, with one person narrowly avoiding being hit by a passerby car. I mean, I'm concerned because shit, you could be putting anything underneath.
It could be explosives, right? You blow the road up or worse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the infrastructure of everything on these islands in New York City.
Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed there.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
agree.
Yeah, it should be no trespassing, absolutely. And plus, I take it that's not their buddy in that car, so they stopped. And now when they get the lid on, they're going to go. Now, if you don't put the lid back on, what's that going to do to my tire?
That's right.
I'm worried about that. And then why are you down there anyway?
Well, by the way,
what are you
rats
seeing?
are a problem in New York City.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine crawling around their sewer system.
Yeah, exactly. How many rats are down there and other things?
Central...
Got to be some snakes down there too, right?
Oh, I think there's a lot of stuff.
On the rats?
Yeah, maybe. I
mean, at some point, some old boy has put a python that he didn't want anymore.
No doubt.
Into the sewer system, and it's just feasting on 1 million rats a day.
Well, there were the theories in the 70s. There were a bunch of alligators running around the sewer system.
Turned into a movie, didn't it?
Yeah.
The Crocodiles of New York or something like that. Alligators of New York.
Central Florida man was taken into custody after a very slow chase early on Friday morning, according to the county sheriff's office. Now, in the release, investigators say the incident happened around 2:23 a.m. when a deputy noticed a blue motorcycle with no lights or license plate. Quote, "Well, she didn't exactly spot it first," the release reads. "She heard its unmuffled backfiring well before she saw it." Now, according to the sheriff's office, it was a Rusty Parts bike with what sounded like a weed eater motor attached. Now, the deputies jokingly dubbed her Blow-By Betty. Deputies tried to pull the car over or drive her over, but he insisted to try to drive away very slowly, according to the dash
guns
camera
out
footage.
now, though, look.
Oh, well.
Now, eventually, the driver, identified as Brian Swartz, 33 years old, toppled over. They pinned Swartz's shin to the ground. He was then arrested, now faces charges of fleeing and operating without a driver's license. Following his arrest, he was released on a bail of $2,800.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you these.
By the way, he's been arrested 16 times since 2016.
These e-bikes, I don't know if anybody around y'all owns these e-bikes. Those things fly.
Yeah.
The right ones. And we had a mutual friend over the weekend whose nephew was on one, and
without a helmet.
I don't know if he was without a helmet because it broke his jaw, but he lost control and broke his jaw and was about to have surgery.
Yeah, luckily that's what he hit and not his head.
I know. Mutual friend of ours, and these e-bikes, man. I've seen some kids, and thank God they're in helmets, but they are flying on these things.
Yeah, the ones that downtown, whatever you call those, in any city, but they zip around.
Yeah.
And
I
if
never
I'm driving
wanted the
the one in
electric one,
Atlanta,
though.
the Atlanta ones are the.
When I lived down there, we rode them all the time. We'd take them to restaurants, bars, and you could get the electric or the non-electric.
Yeah, but the electric e-bikes or they've got these scooters now in some towns. They zip around so fast, it's insanity.
Yeah. Woman in Brazil has been jailed after spending 14 months pretending to be a 12-year-old girl. Amanda
she missed
D'Alebria?
Yeah, 12-year-old man?
Started a bizarre case of identity fraud by contacting a pastor at a church in Brazil. She claimed to be Gabriella, 11-year-old child who fled an abusive home. She successfully gained the trust of the pastor and the congregation, who assisted her financially before referring her to a local family who were willing to nurse and adopt her. Now, while staying with the family, 37-year-old maintained a childlike image. She drank milk from a bottle, used a pacifier, slept with a comfort blanket, and spoke in a high-pitched voice.
Look, the bottle is the one thing that puts it right over the top. The
Because
bottle.
every 12-year-old uses
That's
the
right,
bottle.
yeah.
The family even organized a 12th birthday party for her, paying for her diabetes, obesity medication, and eventually making plans to legally adopt her. But they started to notice the older physical appearance. And
you look 34. I'm just going to say it out loud right now. And
why are you taking menopause medication?
Then she got really over the top with her story. She claimed that her father, quote, forced her into prostitution and she was involved in witchcraft rituals.
That'll put age on you.
So
Yeah,
she
weird
was
story.
called out. She is now in Joinville prison, by the way. It's ruining it up for all the kids that really need this.
That's right.
All the real 12-year-olds.
And finally, an adorable dog in Michigan has gone viral after deciding to check herself into the local animal shelter, stealing the hearts of thousands. Now, some dogs are naturally more willing to go into a shelter than others, but it's pretty rare that you see a pup actively walk into the shelter to get themselves adopted. That's exactly what happened with the adorable Diamond you see there, who quickly captured hearts after checking herself into the local shelter. As shared on Reddit, Michigan Animal Rescue League shelter revealed the footage of the young pit bull terrier mix named Diamond, who is seen actively walking herself into the shelter.
It's like checking your own self into rehab.
I'm here for adoption.
I've got a problem.
Nobody will keep me. That is sad. I mean, but surely with all this publicity, this dog gets adopted in a heartbeat. Yeah.
And that's all I got.
That is trash today. The good thing about Alabama baseball winning their regional on a rain delay onto a Monday when only waiting for Oklahoma to go at 12 noon to finish their game was you got the extended version of their celebration and partying and Rob Vaughn talking to microphone. And you got to see all the pictures being taken on the ESPN2.
They interviewed everybody.
Everybody else had everybody else had another, okay, Ole Miss has punched their ticket. Let's get you now to another game. Alabama here on a Monday getting all the celebration coverage.
I feel like it's impossible for them to stack these games. These college games seem like they could go 2.5 hours or 4.5 hours. Like an MLB game, pretty standard. I mean, extra innings is always going to screw stuff up. But
but they've sped the major league game up pretty good.
That's right. So it's a pretty standard finish there. You don't get a whole lot of 13-12 Mississippi State Georgia games in the MLB.
Brendan Sorsby's ruled eligible, granted his injunction. Has anybody seen any response yet from the NCAA?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to have to give me 2 seconds, but I've got it.
2 seconds. As I tell you, the show's being brought to you by our friends at Champy's. You need more than 2 seconds?
I do. A little more than that, Jim.
No, it's
please.
this figure of speech
Yes,
is what you're doing.
that's what that was.
Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you the final hour of the show all the time. In-house made sides, in-house made dessert, but you go there for the chicken. It's brined overnight. It's cooked to order, piping hot, juicy down to the bone. I'm a big two-breast guy. Hand-cut chicken fingers, they're absolutely huge, and they're spectacular. And let's see, what else? The Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Do you have it now, Brownie?
I do.
Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, lunch or dinner, Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
From Charlie Baker, who's the president of the NCAA.
He would know.
There is no better example of why targeted intervention from Congress is necessary. When you have schools and deep-pocketed supporters willing to look the other way on the glaring integrity threat of betting on your own team, and judges whose rulings effectively strip away our ability to stop them, only Congress can equip the NCAA to handle this common sense rule to protect fairly and consistently. And I'll stop short of Congress is the only one that can fix it, but boy, he's right about everything else, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you've got to worry about him wagering again. I mean, he's got money now.
Yeah.
But still, people that have a lot of money, I know some of the, I don't want to say sickest gamblers, but there are some guys that have a ton of money, but I just don't think that he would put his eligibility at risk again.
Here's Texas Tech AD Kirby Hocutt. You could almost see Cody Campbell's lips moving as Kirby says this. As we have said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warranted permanent ineligibility.
Oh, Cody, that tickles.
As he returns to our football program, we remain committed to supporting Brendan's recovery and ensuring compliance with the court's orders. Cody Campbell, who is the billion-dollar booster, for those that may not know, that is basically trying to reshape college sports. This unfortunate situation is the outcome of a broken system. I'm doing everything I can to fix it, but until there is a permanent solution, Texas Tech and its student-athletes have to do the best they can to navigate and compete amid the chaos that exists in the reality of the world we live in.
All that reaction. Brendan Sorsby right now eligible to play. 2-game suspension, self-penalized by the institution, agreed to by Brendan Sorsby, is a 2-game penalty that he'll miss. That from the school. The NCAA did not accept that. They ruled him ineligible and backed that up on canceling or overturning the appeal from Texas Tech over the weekend. But the injunction has him now in line to play unless something else happens legally.
I'll tell you the reaction I've seen a lot on social media, not only from Joe Fan, but from people that cover this sport for a living. For once in my life, I'm about to say it, the NCAA is right here. And I think we would all agree. Like, I don't say the NCAA is right a lot, but they're right in this one.
Yeah. I mean, this to me is black and white.
Yeah, they are right on this one.
So Alabama's in the World Series. They'll play the winner of the Oklahoma-Kansas region at 2 o'clock on ESPN coming up on Saturday. So Alabama's got the 2 o'clock Saturday game against the winner of the Oklahoma-Kansas series. Oklahoma leads 1-0 and 8-1 in Game 2 as they finish that game up today. Troy, they get the 1 o'clock Central on ESPN on Friday against West Virginia. Those are the 2 state teams that ended up making it. I don't forget if you guys said 3 would make it. I said I felt like 1 would get upset.
I said 3.
I said 2 or 3. I think I'm right at 2. Well, I'm going to say I said 2.
That sums up Brown right there in a nutshell. I think I said 2 or 3.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for the show today. We're back with you tomorrow, 12 o'clock is our showtime tomorrow, 12 Central, 1 Eastern, from Bunkers down in Auburn. We look forward to being there with our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.